Situation to be in right now for the Minnesota Vikings. Mike Tyson, his offense, finds himself in a precarious situation. Here's this high-flying circus act offense that is so explosive, can score anytime, facing one of the best defenses I've seen, quite frankly, all season long. They will just flat knock you out, shut you down, score, take the ball, whip your butt and send you home, Sam. It's embarrassing. So they find themselves in a tough situation. I think what they're going to do is taper the game back a little bit and try to control it. Create third and manageable for Dante Culpepper and not just air the thing all over the place and get their receivers whacked.
Let's check out the Vikings psyche. Go down to the field to Chris Myers. Chris.
With Mike Tice, Coach, you've been down this road before. How did you address it with your team?
Well, we need to go out and relax and have fun with this moment. We've worked extremely hard this year, and we can bring this thing to fruition, walk into the playoffs face first, earn our way into the playoffs, and that'll be a great sense of accomplishment for our young football team.
More confident in this game compared to last year?
Well, you're always confident. You work hard during the week. You have a great week of preparation. You feel like you can go out and make enough plays to win, and that's what we got to do. We got to make more plays.
All right, thanks, Coach. Have a good New Year.
Okay, thank you.
All right, appreciate it. Mike Tice, Sam, does not want to see the Viking version of Groundhog Day.
That's right. He hopes it will be a happy New Year. Now the test comes for the Minnesota Vikings. Can they finish against the Washington Redskins? We'll find out. We are just outside our nation's capital on January 2nd, 2005. Happy New Year, everyone. A couple of injuries, Bill, that could impact in the game. Fred Smoot, fine quarterback for Washington, is out. Antoine Winfield, important man for Minnesota, is in, but he's playing with a brace on a sprained ankle.
Boy, Fred Smoot being out certainly hurts him when you play against the high-flying circus act known as the Minnesota Vikings. You want as many corners as possible. And Antoine Winfield being back, what a bonus. I think he is one heck of a fine corner.
Bill, still time to select your singular fantasy football on Fox team for this week. Text message the word play to 63504 on your singular wireless phone or log on to foxsports.com. Great year for Dante Culpepper. He wants to finish the regular season with a big win to get the Vikings into the playoffs. The Vikings, who had the 5-1 start, have lost 3 of their last 4. A lot of close games, last-second field goals. But there's a keynote. 19 of their last 21 outdoors they've lost. They did win 1 this season in Houston, 1 last season in Green Bay. For the Washington Redskins, their defense has been big, but they will receive. They need something from their offense.
And you're right about that defense, Sam. That's a championship caliber defense. That's not a defense, as I mentioned, that just wants to go out there and hit people. They want to just take your will and the game right away from you.
Jose Cortez kicks off for Minnesota. Antonio Brown and James Thrash deep for Washington. And we're underway. Brown from the 3. He's got speed. He finds an opening. He takes it outside. Here goes Antonio Brown down the sideline. Try to cut in. Brian Williams takes him down. Great return to the Redskins, to the Vikings 32-yard line. What a start for Washington. The speedy Antonio Brown takes it back 67 yards.
I want you to watch the wedge, Sam. The wedge was never broken up, and the wedge sets everything. Nobody breaks the wedge up. Watch them remain intact the whole time and get the seal outside. Every kickoff team needs wedge busters. The wedge busters did not get down there and destroy the wedge.
66 yards officially. 3 wide receivers for the Redskins to open up. Make it 4 wide receivers with Taylor Jacobs and James Thrash there. And they run it with Liddell Betts running hard. He hits the hole very hard. And he picks up 4 on the play. Chris Claiborne made the stop for Minnesota. Patrick Ramsey has completed over 69% of his passes in the last 4 games with 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The offensive line, Randy Thomas has had an outstanding year. Chris Samuels has played well of late. Liddell Betts replaces the injured Clinton Portis at the starting running back position. On 2nd and 5, it's Betts again. Likes that off-tackle play. It's upended on the play by Brian Williams. Down at the 23 for the Vikings. Up front, they've had a good year from the rookie Kanechi Udeze. Maybe wearing down a little bit. Kevin Williams is going to the Pro Bowl. The linebackers, E.J. Henderson, has been a bit inconsistent. Can make some great plays, can make some bad ones. The secondary, watch Antoine Winfield. How will that sprained left ankle hold up? He's got a brace on it. Betts and Cooley in the backfield. Lavernius Coles and Taylor Jacobs, the wide receivers. It's Betts. He is stopped at the 21-yard line, but it looks like he got enough for the first down. Willie Offord with a tackle. Betts is a different style of runner from Clinton Portis, Bill.
You know what? I think Betts is the style that fits what Joe Gibbs likes to do. I think he's a terrific pound-up guy, or run downhill at you, put your pads down and come at you type of guy. And running the counter O, which is a staple in Joe Gibbs' offense, he's a patient enough guy to do it.
Betts' third year out of Iowa, his second NFL start, his first this season. Rod Gardner in motion. Play fake, Ramsey rolls, looks. And he tried to hit Cooley before Kenny Mixon hit him. And the pass off the hands of Chris Cooley. Good rush by Kenny Mixon.
Well, that was a bootleg pass, you know, and the bootleg is another staple of this type of offense. When you establish a run game, when your offense is about establishing the run, you force a defense into committing to stop the run. So when you do that, the bootleg out the back door usually enables enough time for receivers to get open. Kenny Mixon, nice job.
Terrence Shaw in at right corner. Brian Williams moves to left corner. Winfield is out. Henderson just missed Liddell Betts. Betts gets down to the 20, picked up a yard, maybe a yard and a half on the play. Brian Williams made the stop.
One area that the Minnesota Vikings have gotten better throughout the year has been in their gap control run defense. Earlier on in the season, boy, you could just line up and run anything at them, and there would be holes all over the place. But take a look down the line of scrimmage. You see all purple in each and every hole.
Three wide receivers for the Redskins on 3rd and 8. Ramsey gets time, fires, and completes it to James Thrash. He's inside the 10 with a first down at the 9-yard line. Corey Chavis made the stop. And one thing Joe Gibbs wanted to do was show the Vikings different things, different looks, 3 and 4 wide receiver looks.
Well, what Joe Gibbs will do to you is he'll just out personnel you to death. That's exactly what he'll do. He'll bring in 2 tight ends. He'll bring in 3 tight ends. He'll bring in 3 wide receivers, 2 wide receivers, a fullback, 3, all different kinds of personnel groupings and have to try to match up.
On 1st and goal, Betts gets down to the 6-yard line. Now this is where the Redskins have been inefficient all season long in the red zone, inside the 20. They get there, they can't put the ball in the end zone consistently.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because of everything that they try to do, they try to scheme you and plot you and get you thinking run and then bootleg you. And they haven't had the big plays. So when the field tightens on them and you have to maul them to get in, they're not powerful enough up front to take it in.
2nd and goal at the 6. Betts goes in motion. Ramsey sends everyone out, looking, throwing, touchdown, Chris Cooley. Cooley's first touchdown in the last 4 games. The Redskins take the opening kickoff and go in after the great run back. An 8-play drive puts it in.
If I was going to ask you who has the most touchdowns via pass on the Washington Redskins, you certainly wouldn't think Chris Cooley, but that's the man. That's 6 of them this year.
The rookies had a fine season. 3rd-round draft pick out of Utah State. Jeff Chandler for the extra point. Tom Tupa the holder. The Redskins have gotten on the board. They lead it 7-0. It started with Antonio Brown on a 66-yard kickoff return. It finished with a touchdown pass to Cooley.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Now will Mike Tice's team tighten up Now they get the chance to come back. What he preached all week was patience, Bill. Not trying to get it all back in a hurry if you fall behind.
Well, I don't know if they're going to be able to use patience now, because putting them in a bind here by Washington scoring first really takes the air out of everything they do. Defensively for the Vikings, that has been their Achilles heel for the last 4 years.
Jeff Chandler will kick off into the wind. And Mewelde Moore steps up to the 7-yard line. Follows the wedge. He bursts through. Gets a good return up to the 30-yard line. The Washington Redskins strike first. Patrick Ramsey connects with Chris Cooley. On this final day of the regular season, 2 playoff spots still available. Seattle is in the playoffs, but they need a win or a St. Louis loss to clinch the division. And the other team's going after the wild card. Vikings come out with 3 wide receivers. Michael Bennett, the running back. Randy Moss in motion from the 30. Fake end around to Moss. The screen pass to Bennett with a couple of blockers. Bennett stayed on his feet, got up to the 40-yard line, has a first down at the 41. It's been a terrific year, a brilliant year for Dante Culpepper, who has thrown 37 touchdown passes, a team record, and a team record 4,418 passing yards. Matt Burke's second game back since the hernia surgery. He's feeling a lot better. Randy Moss, Nate Burleson, a great 1-2 receiving combination. 2 tight ends are in with Sean Burton and Jermaine Wiggins. The draw play to Michael Bennett. Bennett, who ran for 92 yards last week against Green Bay, picks up 5 on first down. The Redskins defense, first in the NFC, second in the NFL. Cornelius Griffin has had a terrific year. Ronaldo Wynn has had a good year. He'll play a lot today. The linebackers have been outstanding, led by Antonio Pierce and Marcus Washington. Washington going to the Pro Bowl. Sean Taylor, everybody talks about him. He may be the best defensive rookie in the NFL. Second and 5, 2 tight ends for the Vikings. It's Bennett, and he's hit hard by Brandon Noble, who's played a lot the last 3 weeks. He rotating with Joe Salavea, and Noble in there in a hurry with a good hit on Michael Bennett.
And what you do, Sam, when you play a defense that is as good as the Washington Redskins defense, and I'm telling you, they are top flight. They are as impressive as the old Tampa Bay Bucks from a few years back. This defense can just dominate you. But what you do against them is you try to keep them off balance. And you've seen with the screens and the draws and the fake reverses, that's where Minnesota's at.
3rd and 5 out of the shotgun. Mo Williams trying to pick up the blitz. Marcus Washington got a piece and a big hit on Williams. Knocked the ball loose. Cornelius Griffin with the hit. Big time pressure from Marcus Washington on Culpepper.
They will suffocate you. Look at the pressure they come. It's in the backfield quick. Culpepper's trying to make something happen. Well, I thought Mo Williams certainly got hit before the ball got there.
But I also think Mo Williams did a bad job on the block. He missed that block on Washington. Here's Antonio Brown. That kickoff return by Antonio Brown was his first kickoff return of the season. Aaron Bennett gets it away. Here's Brown on the punt return from the 17. Avoids one man and another. And he's tripped up as he gets to the 20-yard line. Vikings with good coverage. Dontarius Thomas on the tackle. Redskins on offense for the second time when we come back.
45 degrees at FedEx Field, and the Vikings, you know, they know more than any team it's a game of inches, like 1/8 of an inch. That's how they've extended the cleats on their shoes. Their equipment manager said to do this for better traction. Their record outdoors has not been good, and the problem, they haven't adjusted well. Mike Tice says they need to adjust today. Sam?
Thanks, Chris. 3 wide receivers for the Redskins. Make it 4 as Thrash and Jacobs are in the lineup. And Liddell Betts carries, no gain on first down. Good job up front by the Vikings, led by Spencer Johnson, the rookie tackle, who's done a terrific job since he took over as a starter.
You know, Chris was talking about the cleats down there, and I was down there in the field, and that grass is long. You know, normally we come into Washington Stadium, our FedEx Field here, they got the lawnmowers going before the game, you know, it's like a putting green. But that grass is long. It's almost like chipping out of the rough.
Wide receiver set. Ramsey with time. Hits James Thrash again up to the 39-yard line. First down, Redskins. Chris Claiborne made the tackle. 20-yard pickup. Ramsey with a good start.
This is a guy you cannot go to sleep on. Thrash is going to be over here. You're going to see him enter. Here he is right there. Comes into the picture, and he's picked up by the linebacker. But you've really got to jam him. If Henderson picked him up, and if he's going to jam him right there at 5 yards, you've got to get a full body jam on him and not let him off.
A lot of three wide receiver sets for the Redskins. Ramsey on first down. He's going deep for Rod Gardner. Broken up by Brian Williams. Excellent coverage by Williams on Rod Gardner. Joe Gibbs opening up the offense a little bit here, Bill.
Well, yeah, he's taking his shots, and, you know, he's going to, because when you're playing the 30th ranked pass defense, you're going to take your shots. But the thing about it is this is where they've come up short all season long, is the long shots. It's been missing from their offense. They haven't been able to excel at it. Every time they've taken a deep shot, almost every time they've taken a deep shot, they've come up similar to that situation there.
Taylor Jacobs is in. Chris Cooley is in the slot on 2nd and 10. Ramsey short. Taylor Jacobs spinning away. Gets across midfield with a good effort. Some poor tackling by the Vikings. And a first down Redskins at the Vikings 48.
There's a lack of those big deep throws that you've seen. For only 14%. 9 of 66, so you can see on that last play it was similar to that. But for the Vikings, you know, there was a chance there with a pass underneath, the check down. It's called the check down is what it is. And they had a chance to close on it and make a tackle. There was 2 missed tackles.
Odell Betts with a good run, leaped over one tackler and gets down to the 40-yard line. Good pickup of 7 yards on first down, make it 8 for Odell Betts. And the Redskins looking sharp on offense. You always wonder how they play the last game of the season. They're playing well early.
Well, you take a look from here to here and watch the offensive line. You got the reach there, you got the push there, and there's your hole. And then see the patience by Betts? That's what he excels at. He waits on his blockers.
7 carries, 23 yards. This is his 8th carry. Runs hard for a first down. Betts with good power, looking at this game as a big opportunity for him to show that he's more than a third down back, that he can be an every down back, and he's gotten off to a good start.
You know, in a sense, you know who he reminds me of a little bit, and it's hard to say, but stay with me here and try to envision, is Tiki Barber. And Tiki Barber, when he first broke into the league, was a guy they didn't think could be a full-time back. The guy they had pegged as a third down back. Betts reminds me of him.
End around. But Taylor tripped on his own, gets up, and now he's thrown for a big loss.
I told you the grass was tall out there,
Taylor
Sam.
Jacobs slipped up. Kevin Williams was there. Willie offered. Combined on the tackle. Williams getting up slowly goes to the sideline.
And, you know, you play the Minnesota Vikings. You know about Randy Moss. You know about their wide receivers. You know about their speed. Sure, you let that grass grow. You do.
Yeah.
But what happens was, as soon as Taylor gets out there in the thick stuff, in the rough, he gets tripped up in it.
Loss of 6 on the play. Back to the 41-yard line. Bernius Coles in motion. Wide receivers in. Ramsey felt pressure. That pass tipped. It was intended for Lavernius Coles, but thrown too high. And they'll bring up a 3rd and long for the Redskins.
Well, Ramsey had an open receiver underneath. Wouldn't have been enough for a first down, but he has pressure in his face, and he has to almost jump up over the offensive line to throw it. And that's what makes that thing go over Coles' head. Look at the pressure up front. He's right in his face, and watch him he goes up over top of him to throw that ball.
Antoine Winfield back in at right corner in the nickel situation on defense for the Vikings. 3 wide receivers for Washington. Ramsey with time. He finds Lavernius Coles. First down inside the 25. Out of bounds at the 22. The possession receiver, Lavernius Coles, the leading receiver.
This shouldn't happen. When you come with the blitz, now this is man-to-man coverage with a single safety high for help. He gets Brian Williams spun around. Oh, man, Brian Russell doesn't get there in time. It was a perfect. You had the blitz called. You're in man-to-man with safety help over the top to Coles. That play should never have happened. It was a terrific throw by Ramsey and a great route run by Coles.
Picked up 20. Lavernius Coles has 88 catches on the season. First down from the 21. Pressure on Ramsey. Looking. Throws it. Intercepted by Kevin Williams. The defensive tackle. And he is down up at the 27-yard line. There's a flag on the play. But I think, and Bill agrees,
holding.
It's going to be holding against
they're going to decline that. And Kevin Williams, Sam, he's going to the Pro Bowl. He's been a dominant guy.
Number 52. That penalty is declined. First down.
Watch Kevin Williams, 93. He's the one with the pressure in the front. There's the hold.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game. By White Noise, the most disturbing film in years, starts Friday. And by the Lexus December to Remember sales event, now through January 3rd.
Big turnover by the Minnesota defense. Kevin Williams' second career interception. The Pro Bowler with a big play. The Vikings offense starts from the 27th. With two tight ends. Quick outside to Randy Moss. Picks up a block from Burleson. And he is neck tackled hard by Sean Taylor, who always hits high and hard.
Go back to the interception. It's better sometimes to be lucky than good. Derek Dockery, the guard for Washington, does an outstanding job of blocking Kevin Williams. Watch. He goes up with his feet, he loses it, then he gets knocked back, and he circles back to try to help out in some way, shape, or form, and ends up right in the path of the pass.
I also thought it was a bad decision by Ramsey.
Well, he didn't know the defensive lineman was going to get knocked all the way back there.
Up straight ahead comes Michael Bennett, and he's close to the first down line. Looks like he got enough for the first down with Michael Bennett.
You know, you can see what Minnesota's trying to do, and it's having a little bit of effect here on Washington. Is they're trying to keep them off balance. You saw the little smoke pass outside to Randy Moss, and they got everybody running over. Then they come back and they pound you in the middle real quick. And, you know, the screens, the draws, the reverses, the fake reverses, that'll keep a defense kind of on its heels and not playing on its toes.
Well, Williams and Michael Bennett in the backfield. Pressure on Culpepper. The screen to Bennett, avoids one man and gets tripped up as he gets to the 45-yard line. But on first down, a pickup of 7 yards, and that's exactly what the Vikings want.
And that's what I was talking about. The screens, the draws, the things that'll keep you off balance. Watch the pressure up inside right away. This is perfectly timed screenplay. Then you get the guard and the tackle outside there. That's outstanding.
Defensive assistant head coach Greg Williams, the man who runs the defense, calls the signals from the sideline. He'll be back, expects to be back next year. That'll be a continuation. Michael Bennett for a first down. Bennett running well. He's run well the last couple of weeks as they've alternated backs with Ontario Smith, but Bennett has taken over as the lead runner.
You're talking about Greg Williams. Greg Williams will bring it from everywhere. John Springs has had 5 sacks doing this right here. Coming from the outside position at corner, up looks like he's playing press coverage and comes darting inside the snap of the ball. Then they roll the safety over top to pick up the receiver, but they usually never see him.
Ontario Smith in the backfield for the Vikings on first down. The play fake. Culpepper, plenty of time. Nobody open. Here he goes. The big, strong, athletic quarterback just runs out of bounds at the Redskins 35, and it's a first down for the Vikings. Well, he makes it look easy.
Well, it is easy when it's Minnesota doing it because you don't have anybody on your defense to account for the quarterback. You know, when you draw up your schemes and you have a corner who covers a receiver and a backer who covers the tight end and another backer who takes the back and the linemen are all with the linemen, you don't have anybody on your defense that is accountable for him. You used to play the quarterback with your entire defense. He makes it look simple because when he takes off, it can get real ugly.
Picked up 14 on the play. On first down, Ontario Smith gets down to the 31-yard line. Picked up about 4 on the play. Let's check out what's going on the sideline. Chris Myers.
Sam, this opportunity on offense set up by the Viking defense, that's been a rarity for them this year. Corey Chavos told me before the game, he said, you know, it's not a must-win officially, but we must win for our defense mentally to get better. And that big turnover helped, and he said somebody needs to step forward on defense to help our offense out. It didn't happen on Christmas Eve. It should happen today.
3 wide receivers in for the Vikings. Thanks, Chris. Marcus Robinson is in. Ontario Smith straight ahead. Lamar Marshall met him across the 30-yard line and brought him down at the 28. Important scores. The Jets are leading St. Louis late in the first quarter. Buffalo trying to get into the playoffs, leading Pittsburgh up in Buffalo. Baltimore still alive, but they need 3 or 4 things to happen to get in. They're tied with Miami. And the other one is Carolina leading New Orleans in the first quarter. Here, Washington leading the Vikings 7-0. Next week, Wild Card Weekend, and at 4 o'clock Eastern on Fox, we have a Wild Card game for you, preceded by the #1 pregame show, and followed by a 2-hour season premiere of the best show there is, 24. Season premiere following Wild Card game on Fox next weekend. Vikings on 3rd down and 3. Culpepper drops it off Ontario Smith. First down, Sean Taylor with a hit down at the 21-yard line. Culpepper using everybody, Bill.
Well, Minnesota creating 3rd and manageable. And when you're in 3rd and manageable, like we talked about at the top, Sam, that you can use everybody. You can get everybody in the mix. 3rd and 3 is exactly the numbers that the Minnesota Vikings coaching staff on offense wants to hear. Scott Linehan, Mike Tice. There's Linehan right here.
Hoping he will be back next season, hoping for success in going into the playoffs. Quick out to Nate Burleson, his first catch. Good stiff arm by Burleson. And he's down the sideline, out of bounds at the 8-yard line. How about that stiff arm?
Well, you know, this guy is really something else. He is everything that Randy Moss really isn't. Randy's explosive, dynamic, powerful, game changer. This guy is blue collar, work ethic, work hard, do everything he can in his power to be a top flight receiver. And this guy is nothing but work. That's all he does. And boy, does it stick out when you watch film and see this guy make play after play after play.
10th play of the drive after a 13-yard pickup. Michael Bennett straight ahead for a couple of yards. Demetric Evans, number 92, of the tackle for the Redskins.
You know, Minnesota has run this 3 or 4 times already. This is called a ghost motion. It's a fake reverse, and it makes you honor the backside. It makes, see that right there? See that linebacker come with you upfield? They've run it 3 times now, and sooner or later, they're going to do something out of that ghost motion.
2nd and goal, 5 defensive backs in for the Redskins. Bo Williams in the backfield. There's the motion, the fake. Culpepper in trouble, being chased, and Ronaldo Wynn got a piece of him. Culpepper threw it away, intentional grounding. Never got outside the tackle box area.
Oh, I don't know about that.
What do you think? But Wynn was all over him.
I don't know about that. That was awful close.
Personal foul.
No.
Roughing the passer.
My apologies.
Accept it, Sam. Accept.
Wow.
First down.
Roughing the passer?
You know what it should be? This, I don't agree with the call. This should be roughing the defensive tackle. There's not many defensive tackles that have a handful.
Oh, there's the rough. Griffin.
Hey. Dante Culpepper stood there between the two of them. He stuck out his arm and he fended off a defensive tackle and threw the ball away outside the pocket. Now, Dante Culpepper Most most coaches would take him and put his hand down. At 6'6", 270 pounds, he is a defensive tackle.
First and goal, Vikings at the 3. Mo Williams to the goal line. He's shoved back. Hard hit inside. Demetric Evans was in there. Williams got close. They stopped him at the 2, is where they spot the ball.
Boy, watch this is football. This is big time football.
Sean Taylor.
Sean Taylor is a man, and I mean M, capital A, capital N. This guy, Sam, is not a free safety. He is a free linebacker.
Mo Williams and Sean Burton line up in the backfield on 2nd and goal. Mo Williams puts his head down, goes to the goal line, but doesn't get in. He's inside the 1.
I don't know if many Washington Redskins fans know of Mo Williams, and I'm sure they don't care about Mo Williams. But let me just say that the Minnesota people watching know what Mo Williams is. And if Washington can stop Mo Williams twice down on the goal line, that is one heck of an accomplishment.
6 defensive linemen in for the Redskins. 3rd and goal. Jermaine Haley, the big load, is in at defensive tackle.
Here comes the bootleg.
Flag. Flag on the play. And it's against the Vikings. False start.
Curtis snap. False start. 83 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's on Randy Moss. So that will have to change the play, and that's frustrating for Mike Tice. They were inches away from the goal line.
Well, you know what it does down here for this bunch is actually the further away from the goal line the Minnesota Vikings are, I think the better they are.
They spread it out, and Culpepper operates out of the shotgun. Wiggins is wide.
Here comes the blitz.
Culpepper rolls, throws for the corner, too wide. Good coverage by Walt Harris on Nate Burleson. And the Vikings, who were inches away, will have to settle for 3.
Walt Harris, no stranger to the Minnesota Vikings, a former first-round draft choice of the Chicago Bears. Played there for 6 years, played against these people for a bunch of them.
Anderson 17 of 21. The hold by Gus Frerotte. The kick of 23 yards is through. Morton Anderson has now scored in a record 333 consecutive games. But a big penalty shoved the Vikings back, and they get only 3 points. All right, this is more than 24, but you see the clock winding down on Mike Tyson, the Minnesota Vikings. Season premiere of 24, 2 hours next Sunday following our Fox wildcard game. Jack is back, Bill. We're a safer world when he's around.
Is Mulder? As long as Mulder's back.
Jose Cortez will kick off. Last kickoff, Antonio Brown kicked return for 66 yards. This time it's short to Thrash at the 15. Thrash finds a lane. Thrash broke a couple of tackles, was hit by Cortez, and spins his way up to midfield.
The flag back here, Sam.
Back at the Vikings 31-yard line, but what a return by James Thrash, who refused to go down.
Probably an offsides if it's back there by the 30. They'll probably decline that.
Scott Green, our referee.
Kicking team. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Number 20.
No tack on 5 yards.
Right, look at that.
36-yard return plus 5. And the Redskins have great field position at the Minnesota 45. Return team working well for the Washington Redskins.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford. The next Ford Super Duty. Tougher, stronger, smarter. By AmeriQuest Mortgage, the company that knows you are more. By Aspen Edge, the low-carb lager with more taste. And by Electra, the next movie from the world of Marvel Comics, January 14th, only in theaters.
Even on Halloween, I wouldn't dress up like that. Key scores, Carolina has just fallen behind New Orleans late in the first quarter. St. Louis is trailing the New York Jets. Minnesota looking for a loss by either Carolina or St. Louis. That would put them in. 4 wide receivers for the Redskins, with Liddell Betts in the backfield. Ramsey checking off. Quick outside, 2 wide. Rod Gardner, the intended receiver. Terrence Shaw, who's in. Looks like Antoine Winfield's been reduced to just nickelback.
Yeah, and that's probably a good thing, because if they do get to the playoffs, he's a guy that they're definitely going to need, and you want him as well as he possibly can be. I think when he's healthy, Sam, he's as good as a corner as I've seen play. I mean, a complete corner. You don't get anything his side. He was leading the team in interceptions and tackles.
And he's a key man on special teams, too. Everybody out. Ramsey with time. It's batted down by Kevin Williams. Williams with an interception and a bat down. And JB has got an update for us. Take it away, JB.
Hey, Sam, it was an outstanding 71-yard run by Deuce McAllister that set up this 7-yard run by Aaron Stecker. That puts the Saints ahead with the score. Saints on top. And we know what happens if, in fact, the Saints pull. They're fighting for a playoff spot. Back to Sam and Bill.
Saints still alive. Big game against Carolina. Right here, the Vikings trailing the Washington Redskins. Everybody out. Ramsey feeling pressure, gets rid of it. Incomplete, intended for Chris Cooley. Ryan Williams covering. Nobody open that time for Washington. And let's go to the sideline as the Redskins get set to punt. Chris Myers joins us.
Sam, Joe Gibbs addressed his team this morning. He told his players, paraphrasing here, don't listen to all the talk that there's nothing for Washington to play for. It's not all about the Vikings. You should see yourself in a possible playoff position for next season. Start it this season. Start it now. Almost sounds like today is now, not the future is now.
Tom Tupa's 100th punt of the season. Fair catch called for by Nate Burleson at the 15-yard line. Our nation's capital. We'll be right back. Part of what makes Washington's defense so good, Bill, they take away the big play. Vikings begin from the 15-yard line. Culpepper 5 for 7, 47 yards. 3 wide receivers. Culpepper goes short to Michael Bennett. He's wrestled down at the 19-yard line by Lamar Marshall.
You know, one of the things that is equivalent to a run, Sam, is a short pass. You know, that's the old West Coast mentality of a pass. It's just an extension of the run, the short little passes. And if they can get 3 or 4 yards on a first down pass, a short pass like that, they'll take that every time. Because remember, the goal for the Vikings is not only to win, but how to win is create third and manageable.
4-yard completion is a good completion. Some movement, flag flies. A couple of flags go down. Scott Green, our referee.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 73, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's Adam Goldberg, the right tackle, called for the false start.
That can't help. You think about what the penalty cost them right down there on the goal line, too. And now you're right back where you started with the ball. Actually, a yard more.
2nd down and 10. Marcus Robinson in, 3 wide receivers. And Culpepper goes out of the shotgun. Wiggins motions. Ooh, almost got away from Culpepper. And a couple of yard pickup up to the 17-yard line for Michael Bennett.
Well, watch what Washington does here. See, Minnesota tries to spread the box. They try to spread you out. They got guys out here. There's guys all the way out here on both sides. You can see the count in here. But watch how they play these guys right here. This guy right here. Watch him fill. Normally the objective of spreading the team out is to try to run against them when you only have 5 or 6 in the box. Washington does a great job of collapsing that box.
4 wide receivers for the Vikings. Quarterback draw, Culpepper. He's got the first down. Dante takes it on himself and runs for the first down.
Now this is going to be a big part of today. If the Vikings win, Dante Culpepper, you're going to see him doing a lot of this. Not just quarterback draws, but making plays out of the pocket that necessarily wouldn't be there. Because he is the one X factor, as I said before, that you can't account for defensively. All 11 men have to play Dante Culpepper. But when he takes your responsibilities elsewhere, it's harder to get to him.
2 tight ends in on first down from the 26. Michael Bennett. Marcus Washington, the Pro Bowl linebacker, gets there with speed. His first year with the Redskins after 4 years with Indianapolis. And he's had a terrific season.
Well, watch him fill. A Pro Bowl season, everybody goes this way. Watch him fill his responsibility. That is gap control to its finest as you see him play defense. This is a young man who came out and almost didn't play today. He's been bothered and hampered with some injuries. His knees bothered him a little bit. He came up and warmed up before the game out on the field, Sam, to get the go-ahead from the trainers and Greg Williams to play today.
2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers, draw play, Ontario Smith, not much. Marcus Washington again. You know, he was the only Pro Bowler on this outstanding defense, but I think, Bill, that if they have a strong season next year, they'll have a lot of Pro Bowlers on there.
You're not kidding. Watch him come in and close in here and make the fill. Close down the line of scrimmage. His responsibility was outside contained. It wasn't there, and he closed down the line of scrimmage. But, Sam, the thing about this team and these guys, Greg Williams has these guys, all 11 of them, competing against one another for an ultimate goal that he has a prize for him starting tomorrow.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd and long, the fake end around. Culpepper in trouble. Chris Clemens couldn't get there, and Culpepper throws it away. Chris Clemens, the designated pass rusher, number 57, the linebacker, who a couple of weeks ago was the secret weapon. Just didn't have enough strength to take down Dante Culpepper.
Well, not many people do. I would hate to have that assignment. I mean, he's a big man. As I said, it's 6'6", 270 pounds. I mean, it's not a flabby 270 either. My man's yoked. But they've run that play, Sam, twice. And it's been a fake reverse, as I've shown before, with Randy Moss out in the flat. Both times he has been wide open. Culpepper hasn't seen him.
Darren Bennett's 2nd punt of the game. Antonio Brown is deep for Washington. Big pressure. Bennett got it away. Good high punt. Brown at the 31. Makes one man miss, but can't make any more miss. He's down at the 35-yard line. 41-yard punt. 4-yard return, but the Redskins defense doing the...
Redskin quarterback coach Jack Burns told me that Patrick Ramsey's most improved in his decision-making and aggressiveness, but there are 3 factors that have held the Redskins from making those big plays, those 20-yard and beyond plays that Sam and Bill talked about earlier. The first is protection. The second is receivers not running the right routes. And the third was quarterback development. They said that's gotten a little better. Their confidence in Ramsey has grown in the last couple of weeks, and they think that he'll be fine for next year. Sam?
He's played well the last 4 weeks. 5 for 12, 69 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception thus far today. Liddell Betts puts the head down and barrels through for about 5 on the play. Make me 4.
Well, you know, you say he's been playing well for the last 4 weeks. Heck, he's only been playing for the last 5 weeks. You know, they didn't commit to this guy until well into the season when they decided to go with him and give him a shot and take Mark Brunell out. And this is a guy, as quarterback, Patrick Ramsey, who came from a system who dropped back and threw the ball all over the field. This is the first time he's had the opportunity to work with him and mold him in an operated offense.
Tight ends in. Liddell Betts trying to cut it back. Chris Claiborne with a tackle, but once again, another 4-yard pickup. 4 at a clip for the hard-running Liddell Betts. Bit of controversy on the Redskins, Bill, this week with Clinton Portis and Olete.
Well,
Olete claiming that he welched on payment for giving up his number.
Well, this is where the NFL has changed a little bit. Because I think in the old days, it would have been handled a little differently on how to collect that money.
Hovan and John Stone on the defensive line for the Vikings on 3rd down. Ramsey completes to Chris Cooley for a first down at midfield. St. Louis Rams are putting some points on the board. What's happening there, JB?
And we know that's bad news for Vikings fans. Take a look here. Mark Bulger play action. Post corner route run by Isaac Bruce. 27-yard strike. Rams move out in front of the Jets. That in the second by the score of 7-3. Back to Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, and Chris Myers.
Vikings need a win or a St. Louis loss or a Carolina loss. Right now, Carolina's trailing 7-3 to New Orleans. Ramsey deep drop, has time and goes short. And the completion for a couple of yards to Liddell Betts out of the backfield.
You know, Sam, back to the Clinton Portis deal. You know what you're going to find is you're going to have to negotiate to pay for your jersey and have a stipulation in there if you are to be waived prior to the season, then it is half. Because they both have a good point.
Right.
I mean, he was cut in August, right? He was picked up. Yeah, he was picked up and everything. So if he had waited, he actually would have gotten the jersey.
4 wide receivers in. The end around for Lavernius Coles. Picked up a couple of blocks. Steps out of bounds inside the 40. A first down. Good offensive mix-up by Joe Gibbs. He's mixing things up very well. Again, with the different personnel sets, 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers, 3 tight ends.
You know, Randy Thomas was injured, and when he came back is when the offense, I thought, really started to click offensively, the running game. Watch him pull on this when he gets outside. That block right there is what springs the outside. Now, to his account here, to his efforts, Darian Scott was off balance when the block came, but still, that's what created that seam on the outside.
Liddell Betts on first down picks up a couple of yards. E.J. Henderson, the middle linebacker, makes the stop. But the Redskins doing exactly what they wanted to do. Ball control, keeping the ball away from the explosive Minnesota Vikings offense. They've had long drives. The 1 interception certainly they'd like to have back, but because they were in scoring territory when that happened. But other than that, they've done well. 3 wide receivers on 2nd and 9. Everybody out. Ramsey connects with James Thrash. And he is taken down inside the 25 at the 23. Third catch of the game for James Thrash.
Go to sleep on James Thrash. You're thinking about Lavernius Coles, you're thinking Rod Gardner, Liddell Betts, but who's had the 3 big catches in this game so far for Washington?
It's been Thrash.
And it sure has.
At the 23, Thrash with 3 catches for 46 yards.
Look at a penalty on top of that.
Once again, a 4 wide receiver look for the Redskins. They're going to the blitz. Ramsey gets rid of it, connects with Coles inside the 15, spins to the 9-yard line.
Ted Cottrell is feeling pretty froggy. They're playing good run defense, the best I've seen them play in a long time, Minnesota. And they've come with 2 back-to-back blitzes, and on both blitzes, Patrick Ramsey has beat the blitz. He's taken the hit, he's had pressure in his face, and he's connected on the passes.
Pick up a 14 on the play, and Joe Gibbs is giving the Vikings new looks. Probably things they didn't practice for. It's not something they've shown much of. Liddell Betts, maybe a yard on the play before he is shoved back. Darian Scott, number 98, was there, along with E.J. Henderson and Kevin Williams. Williams leading the way.
Well, you know what you do with a high-powered offense, Sam? You keep them on the sidelines.
That's right.
And that's what Joe Gibbs is doing to the Minnesota Vikings. He's kept them on the sidelines. We're at the 2-minute warning in the half, and how many times have the Minnesota Vikings even had the football? 3. 3?
They haven't had much offense today, that's for sure. 3 possessions, and they trail the Redskins. Joe Gibbs knows about the Daytona 500. It's on Fox in high definition, February 20th. NASCAR returns to Fox with 15 weeks of NASCAR coverage. Joe Gibbs' racing team will be at the Daytona 500. Grand Marshal this year is Ashton Kutcher. Right here, Gibbs Redskins, 2nd and goal at the 7-yard line. Chris Cooley split out, now another shift.
Off the shovel!
Everybody out. Ramsey looks, throws short to Coles, and he is taken down at around the 5-yard line. Lavernius Coles, the possession receiver. There you see the scores. The Jets have gone back out ahead of St. Louis. Right now, for Vikings fans, those are good scores.
They're terrific scores. I mean, both those scores mean they're in, Sam.
That's right. Either one, if Carolina or St. Louis loses, Minnesota will get in. Chris Hoban in on the defensive line for Minnesota on 3rd and goal. Play fake, Ramsey with time, he throws, connects, touchdown, Robert Royal, the tight end. Ramsey waited just long enough. Royal comes open, and the Redskins with their 2nd touchdown of the game.
Ramsey with time, Sam. Royal with separation from the linebacker, Chris Claiborne, I'm sorry. And what happens is when you play zone and you're in that tight confines backed up there in the goal line, you have to react to the man in your zone and match up with him quickly. Claiborne was looking back at the quarterback and let Royal get away from him.
Jeff Chandler's extra point is good. 4th receiving touchdown for Robert Royal. 11 plays, 64 yards. The Redskins lead the Vikings 14-3.
You're going to see Lance Johnstone. He's going to get a rush, and he gets upfield, and he holds up Royal, the tight end. Now, what has to happen is Claiborne has to pick him up over in the corner. Once he gets off the release, take a look here. Here's Johnstone. He jams him up, then he gets upfield into the rush and gets some pressure on the rush. But after that release is when the linebacker has to pick him up. It's a hard thing to do because it looks at first as though the tight end is staying in to block, and then he releases late.
Jeff Chandler on the kickoff, and the return by Kelly Campbell. Flag on the play. Campbell gets outside and is grabbed and hauled down hard down at the 27-yard line. And hurting on the play is Mike Sellers. Gets up limping and goes back to the ground. We'll check out the flag.
Illegal block, below the waist, number 54, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Dontarius Thomas called on the illegal block, so that will set the Vikings back. And they've got a long way to go. This is Taylor Jacobs who made the tackle here, Bill.
I really like to see wide receivers that play defense, you know, or can go down and cover kicks. There's not many of them in the NFL that ever have.
Concern for Mike Sellers. Backup fullback. There's Taylor Jacobs with that tackle, receiving congratulations from his teammates. And if you're just joining us, the Washington Redskins got off the opening kickoff, 66-yard return for Antonio Brown in his first kickoff return of the season. And then the Redskins took it in. Patrick Ramsey finding Chris Cooley for the touchdown. And then just moments ago, Ramsey to the tight end Robert Royal to make it 14-3. Sellers limps off the field, but under his own power. Now for the Vikings, when do they start? Will they tighten up, Bill? Will they get nervous?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they are right now, Sam. You don't want to. This isn't a team that likes to come from behind. As explosive as they are, this is a team that plays when they're out in front.
They work from the shotgun from the 13 with 3 wide receivers. Randy Moss and Nate Burleson caught only 1 pass each. Moss for 8 yards, Burleson for 13. Culpepper has time, nobody open. Waiting, dancing. Sprinting out, being chased, throws it away. Ron Warner, number 94, got a piece of Culpepper, but again, Culpepper just too strong to be taken down and gets rid of the ball.
What was that, a 20-second sack clock?
Oh.
Nobody could get to him. The coverage downfield was sensational. You talk about shut down, lockdown corners. Look at Harris on the outside on Randy Moss. Look at the other side, Garnell Wilds over there. Unbelievable coverage all over the field, Sam, for a long period of time, not just a couple seconds.
Don't discount that man, the rookie Sean Taylor. Again, shotgun. Mo Williams and Jermaine Wiggins in the backfield. Time for Culpepper again. Now being pressured. Gets rid of it. Way downfield for Randy Moss. And it's batted away by Sean Taylor.
Whoa.
And Taylor gets up. Not in my house, he won't.
First of all, what a sensational job of Dante Culpepper buying time to get that thing off. He made that play give it a chance. He's the one that gave that play a chance. These two exceptional athletes going at it. Moss out jumps him, but look at the finish by Taylor.
Usually when it's a jump ball, Moss wins.
The finish. Watch the finish by Taylor. He's still looking at it. He's still eyeballing it and not giving it a chance.
He could play linebacker. He could play cornerback. Sean Taylor is one talented player. Timeout, Minnesota. Vikings first timeout. Dante Culpepper has had a magnificent season, career best. The owner, Red McCombs, will dance to that tune. Culpepper, a team record 37 touchdown passes. He's passed for over 4,400 yards. He's rushed for over 400 yards this season. When he needs the deep ball, he throws to Randy Moss. He's at 4,470 yards. Completion percentage just under 70%. Look at the quarterback rating of over 111. For today, 6 for 11, but only 52 yards. A tribute to the Redskins defense.
And they're in exactly what they didn't want to be in, 3rd and long.
Have to get to the
Look at this. Look
23.
At this. No safeties deep. No safeties deep. They're creeping back, but I have a funny feeling they're going to bring the house here.
Linebackers are coming. Culpepper in trouble. Gets rid of it. Jermaine Wiggins first catch. Fights off a tackle, gets a first down. A good play by Jermaine Wiggins, who's had an outstanding season as a receiver. 65 catches for Jermaine Wiggins.
Well, they do cover. They show blitz. They creep people up, then they bring them back out, and then they dance up here, and they'll bring linebackers, and they'll drop linebackers. They end up bringing 6, and they drop deep and get the coverage deep, but they give the underneath up to Jermaine Wiggins.
5 defensive backs in for the Redskins. From the 26, it's a first down for the Vikings with 3 wide receivers. Everybody out. Culpepper stepping up outside of Marcus Robinson, looking. Darnell Wilds takes him out of bounds. Up at the 33-yard line. First catch of the game for Marcus Robinson. Darnell Wilds, who was made active just about a month ago. Rookie out of Virginia Tech, coming off the practice squad and has to play a lot today in nickel situations.
You know, I talked to Greg Williams about Darnell Wilds. He says, you know, I should have played him about 4 or 5 weeks ago. He said the guy is extremely talented. He says, I just didn't want to break up the rhythm and chemistry I had with my defense. He says, I have no problems with him as a starter out there.
On second down, Culpepper, the slant for Randy Moss. He spins, he's down at the 45. And a timeout called by the Vikings.
Oh, there's a test. There's a test right there, and there the youngster learned about letting Randy Moss get the inside slant on him. He saw Randy Moss. He knew he had him. He played off him a little bit. But Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator for the Washington Redskins, was raving about Wilds. He said, this guy's a player. He said, Bill, he just needs to get out there on the Audubon and have his eyes come back down to normal. He says, you know what happens when they first get out there? Their eyes get real big. He says, after playing a little bit, then they get down to back down to normal, and he feels confident in what he's doing.
Let's check out what Chris Myers is doing down on the sideline. Chris?
Well, you know, I talked to Sean Taylor before the game. He doesn't talk a lot, mild-mannered or soft-spoken, but he said he really has enjoyed this season in the NFL. The record of the Redskins he's not happy about, but he said he was looking forward to the challenge of facing Randy Moss. He said, hey, he's supposed to be the best or one of the best in the game. I hope I get the chance to meet him my style and show him the kind of player I am. Looks like he did that earlier.
He certainly did, Chris.
No.
Oh, you want him to hit him?
Yeah, that's his style. That's what he meant. His style is rocking your world.
On first down. Out of the shotgun, 3 wide receivers. Fake handoff, the blitz. Culpepper gets rid of it as he was going down.
The story thus far for Minnesota has been Dante Culpepper and his unbelievable abilities in the backfield of just being able to get passes off like that. He has thrown 3 passes away and out of bounds that would have been sacked by 13 to 20 other quarterbacks in this league. It's been amazing. He has bought time to give his team opportunities to get sacked. And this is a guy that's been sacked 42 times this year.
And they say he's broken 24 tackles in the pocket, and today he's broken at least 2 or 3. There's 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. 25 seconds to go in the first half. The fake on Harris. Pressure all over. Culpepper got away, got it to Wiggins. Wiggins gets a first down. Wrestled down at the 41-yard line.
14 seconds. Clock still running. They got called timeout.
Yeah, they do. That's their last timeout. Once again, it's Culpepper making a play.
And he's been the story for anything at all that Minnesota has had. There's the blitz on the outside, and then it's been Dante just dodging everything around him, giving himself an opportunity to make a throw. Whether he's been out of the pocket, whether it's been the long throw to Randy Moss, who he bought time for, that pass never even should have got off.
Whatever win there is blowing into the face of the Minnesota Vikings. I think they've got to get inside the 25-yard line to have a shot for a field goal for Morton Anderson.
You know, I talked to Morton Anderson. He said he kicked here one time before when he was with the Giants, and that was it. And I said, well, what did you remember about it? He said, not too much. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I know Morton Anderson has been doing kicking for a long time, and a long time indoors with New Orleans, with Atlanta, with Minnesota.
See the other scores. St. Louis trailing the Jets, Carolina trailing New Orleans. For the Vikings, no more timeouts. They've got to get the ball, get out of bounds. 3 wide receivers. Here it comes. They bring everybody. And Springs takes him down. Sean Springs got there for the sack.
You got to line up. They got to get back. The clock is running. They got to spike it to get a chance. And they're not going to be able to do it. Clock's going to run out on them.
And that's it. Culpepper upset that the Redskins didn't get back on time, but a frustrating first half for the Minnesota Vikings. They can't seem to find a way. They're going to have to mount a huge comeback. They trail the Redskins 14.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
All right, Washington ahead of the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings, if this score holds, will need some help in order to get into the playoffs.
All right, Dante Culpepper, let's light it up today, young man. Oh, lighten it up. Here we go. Patrick rams it to the rookie out of Utah State, Chris Cooley, who perhaps, as Howie Long says, could end up being the best H-back that Joe Gibbs has had. That's a touchdown pass. And this is another touchdown pass by Ramsey to Robert Royal. It's 14-3 Skins over the Vikings. New Orleans and Carolina. Oh, Carolina's won 4 in a row. There it is. Carl Hankton getting into it with Saints. Mel Mitchell, Haslett, not happy about it. Mitchell getting in face of Haslett. Hey, don't do that. This head coach at Saints, tough guy. Tough guy. Deuce McAllister, he's a tough guy. Breaks off tackle. Breaks, takes it going all the way. 71 yards, longest rush of the year for the Deuce man. Leads to an Aaron Stecker touchdown. Nice scoring there. Saints 7-0. Saints on top of Carolina, who need a win desperately. Panthers threatening. DeLorme then back to pass. Stripped of the ball by Charles Grant. Recovered by Will Smith. And then out of the eye. Breaks it to the outside. A 1-yard touchdown run. And Deuce McAllister is in 14-3. New Orleans on the road at Carolina on top. Jets traveling to play the Rams. Bulger back, looks to the left, guns it. Isaac Bruce, post corner, 27-yard touchdown, 7-3. It is Rams over the Jets. Chad Pennington back, rolls right, nails Chris Baker in from 8 yards out, 10-7. The Jets, and then Bulger is picked off, going in now. It is the Rams, but picked off. Watch it. There it is, into the end zone. Picked off by Eric Coleman. 10-7 Jets over the Rams. And then just seconds to go, Bulger back, steps up, plenty of protection, 44-yard touchdown pass, beautiful throw and catch to Terry Holt. Extra point is good. It is 13-10. Extra point pending, but it is now the Rams on top, 13-10.
Patriots have already secured the AFC East and a first-round bye. TB, that score not at 7.
Green Bay, Chicago, far back, nails Bubba Frank, 17-yard score, 7-all. Then far fake the reverse to Henderson, and to the wide receiver, 38-yard touchdown to Henderson. This is the 8th season now Favre's thrown 30 more touchdown passes in a season, NFL record. Then Chad Hutchinson, quarterback for the Bears, going through his progression, finds a wide-open Darren Sharper. Sharper then returns the interception. Touchdown of 43 yards, 28-7. Green Bay over Chicago.
Tennessee looking to avoid its 12th loss of the season right now, ahead of the Lions, 14-10. Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Steelers resting Roethlisberger. Tommy Maddox in. Steelers on top. Baltimore needs a win and some help to get into the postseason. Ahead by 13. Eagles nothing to play for. Bengals all over them. 14-0 as it stands right now. Houston trying to close out its first non-losing season in franchise history, trailing by 2. Now, of course, we know St. Louis, that point after is good now. St. Louis is ahead of the Jets. If they win, the Vikings lose. Vikings are out. Poses the question again. Mike Tice, would you bring him back if they fail a second year?
Well, even though I wouldn't agree with it, Red McCombs could let Mike Tice go if they don't at least back into the playoffs. I mean, it could get ugly there. And as opposed to the $1 million contract, the way it reads, if he paid him off, it'd be $800,000. Now, one interesting development. Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, was offered an extension. He did not accept it. Now, he is wanted by a lot of different clubs to run their offense. Red McCombs could offer him the head coaching job, pay him a little bit of money, keep most of the staff there, save Red McCombs some money.
Well, you know, if I'm Linehan, I don't take the job. I move on.
Why?
Because I don't think it's an organization that's going to have success because of ownership. I move on. The Minnesota Vikings came down with an epidemic of the flu this week. 10 players sick. They're playing like they're sick right now. Smoot out. You would think it would have a ripple effect. Bennett can't get anything done. They can't get their passing game on track. That Washington defense pretty good.
Hey, a head coaching job in the NFL is hard to get.
I'm going to tell you, though, I would agree.
It's easy to lose.
I would agree that Mike Tice would be fired because you cannot collapse 2 years in a row after starting out so well the first 8 games. 2 years in a row, you have to look straight at the head coach.
Could get ugly.
And Joe Gibbs has never lost to the Vikings. He is 7-0 as head coach of the Skins. Visa halftime continues.
Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Get ready for the game.
The Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. And what's important in Washington is defense. And that's what the Redskins bring to their game. Pressure on Dante Culpepper all afternoon. They've taken him down for 1 sack by Sean Springs, but they've given him problems. They've chased him, they've gotten a piece of him, and they have held the Vikings offense to just 3 points.
You're watching Fox Sports. Available in 720p, the world's finest high-definition standard with Dolby 5.1.
With Mike Tice, you said this wasn't a 5-10 defense. What'd you tell your team at halftime?
Well, we got to fight harder. We got to play better on special teams. We're not getting any good field position. We're giving them all good field position. It all started with the opening kickoff, and we said, let's not give them any hope early. We gave them some hope. We just got to continue to work hard on offense and make some plays. And defense, we got to get off the field on third down. All the things we talked about before the game, we're not doing. We got to do those things.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Chris. And you could see the concern for Mike Tice. He's finally got to find a way, because his team is going to tighten up as it gets closer to the end of the game, I think, Bill.
Well, the longer they have to play catch-up, Sam, the better the situation it is for the Redskins. I mean, you saw at the end of the first half when they were trying to get some points on the board what the Redskins defense did to the Minnesota Vikings. They just choked them. And the only thing that gave them a little bit of life was Dante Culpepper running around.
Right. We came into this game, we said the matchup of the Vikings offense and the Redskins defense, and to this point, it's a big win for the Washington defense. What do you think, Bill? What can they change offensively to give the Redskins some problems?
You know what they need to do is get back to that theory they had going earlier, Sam. You know, the reverses, the screens, the draws, keep them on their heels and not their toes, because once the Redskins settled in and knew they could rush, that's when they took over the game.
Kelly Campbell on the return gets tripped up as he crosses the 25-yard line. 21-yard return, and it was Sean Taylor on the tackle on special teams for the Redskins. First half, rushing yardage edge to the Vikings, passing yardage, surprisingly, the edge to the Redskins.
Now, look at that number right there for the Vikings. When was the last time you saw the Vikings? Minnesota Vikings have 88 yards passing at halftime.
Michael Bennett at running back. Nate Burleson and Randy Moss, the wideout. Sean Burton and Jermaine Wiggins, two tight ends. Off the play fake, Culpepper waits. Short to Wiggins. Upended at the 30-yard line. The tackle by Walt Harris. Let's go downstairs to the field to Chris Myers.
Sam, over on the Redskins sideline, Ron Springs has an upset stomach. I heard him say as he went in at half, I feel nauseous. He's still in there. If he feels better, he'll be out for the second half. Of course, the Redskins already without Fred Smoot. And Joe Gibbs said he has two priorities here, keeping Culpepper from running around and giving Liddell Betts the ball more in the second half.
Thanks, Chris. Three wide receivers for the Vikings on second down. Culpepper fires, looked for an opening, found Marcus Robinson. And for Marcus Robinson, his second catch of the game, he caught only one pass in each of the last three. Garnell Wild's covering, and it brings up third and about one, Bill, and this is more manageable for Minnesota.
And this is what they're good at. I think they've only missed 1 3rd and 1 the entire season.
Mo Williams in the backfield with Sean Burton. Burleson in motion. Mo Williams bounces, pushing, and it's going to be very close. Looks like he's got enough for the first down. The middle linebacker Antonio Pierce made the stop.
You know, if they don't get back Minnesota to moving the defense around, they're not going to get much. They're not going to get much at all. And to go the long distance, the length of the field, to go 80, 70 yards, Sam, by getting 3 or 4 yards, makes an offense have to be almost perfect. You can't have penalties. You can't have holds. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. You have to do everything almost precisely. And this is an offense that is used to doing things in big chunks. This isn't accustomed to what they're used to doing.
Well, we talked about patience right at the top. That's what Mike Tice talked about. That's what Dante Culpepper talked about. Scott Linehan.
Well, yeah, let me tell you something about patience. Patience didn't get you here. Patience doesn't make you explosive. Patience didn't put up all those points that this offense has put up for the last 3 years. You've got to take the noose off your offense and open it up.
On first down, the pass intended for Jermaine Wiggins is dropped. Walt Harris was right there, and Wiggins shaking his head As he walks off, it's on me, he says.
Yeah, it was on him. And
Without
Randy
a doubt.
Moss was downfield one-on-one again with Taylor. Actually got behind him. And I think you need to loosen this defense up a little bit, because it seems like they just keep on choking down tighter and tighter and tighter until they get you where they want you at 2nd and long and 3rd and long, and then they devastate you.
There's 2nd and long. Blitz coming. The fake by Culpepper. It's picked up, and then he's taken down by Demetric Evans. They picked up the blitz, but the defensive end, Demetric Evans, got in there for the 2nd sack of the game on Dante Culpepper. 44th sack given up by the Vikings this season. Culpepper had time. Well, the coverage downfield's been good, Bill.
Oh, coverage downfield has been outstanding. It's been outstanding.
So now another 3rd and long, 3rd and 15. They have to get to the 48-yard line for a 1st down. 3 wide receivers.
Here comes.
Blitz coming from Taylor. He's picked up. Culpepper rolls and looks and throws. And a catch is made by Randy Moss. A 1st down at the 49. A big play for the Vikings.
A huge play. And they go to Old Faithful. They go to what the Minnesota Vikings are known for. They went to what the Minnesota Vikings scare you with. And the reason it was all able to happen was because Dante Culpepper, once again, extended that play. By all rights, that play should have been over again.
1st down, Vikings from the 49. Michael Bennett, not much running room, gets across midfield, maybe 2 yards on the pickup. The middle linebacker, Antonio Pierce, with the tackle. The 3rd down numbers for the Vikings. 63% today. Short on 1 and 2. 1 for 1, medium. 3 to 5 yards, 1 for 2. And 3rd, 6 yards or longer, 3 for 5. But they haven't had the explosive play, the big play.
Well, they haven't had a touchdown. That's what they haven't had.
They got close, but Sean Taylor came up with a big play at the goal line.
And they had a penalty following that.
Culpepper checking off. Blitz coming. The pump fake. Nobody open. Trouble. And they got him. Lamar Marshall would not let go. He got the jersey of Culpepper and refused to let him get away. He was going to tear that jersey off and find a way to get him down.
Well, what they need to find a way to do is get a man open. I mean, the Washington Redskins coverage is outstanding. That pump fake didn't move one person. Every single defensive player stayed in coverage. The pump fake is there. Look at that coverage. Look at Taylor over the top of Harris. There's no room to breathe, and that's when the rush got there. That is outstanding defense.
Here's 3rd and 17, Bill, at their own 42. They have to get to the Redskins 41, and they ran out. They stop it. Timeout.
Minnesota. This is their first charge timeout.
They used a timeout a lot earlier than they'd like to, but as you said, the play clock was running down. 3rd and long for the Vikings, and a long way to come back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Big 3rd down play coming. 3rd and 17. Vikings have to get to the Redskins 41 for a 1st down. Sean Springs is out of the game for the Redskins. Arnell Wild's in. Todd Franson is a 5th defensive back. They drop back into coverage. Culpepper with plenty of time. Waiting. Nobody open now. Griffin's got him. Cornelius Griffin takes him down at the 33. Fourth sack of the game for the Redskins.
Very simply put, look at here. 3-man rush, and Griffin keeps battling through and gets there. Absolutely no excuse for the Minnesota Vikings offensive line. Great work by the defensive front 3 of the Washington Redskins.
Darren Bennett's punt bounces at the 35 and rolls out of bounds at the Washington 28-yard line. Things are getting tough for the Vikings and Dante Culpepper. Cornelius Griffin with a sack gives him a career-high 6. The best thing the Vikings have going for them right now is the fact that Carolina is losing to New Orleans. If either Carolina or St. Louis loses, the Vikings will get in. They want to go in the front door. They'll take it if they can go in and sneak in by a loss. Redskins start from the 28. Patrick Ramsey hands to Ladell Betts straight ahead. Fights his way up to the 30-yard line. Got 2 yards on the play. Now it'll be interesting to see how Joe Gibbs plays it offensively, Bill.
Joe played exactly the way he's been playing. They haven't altered their game plan at all. When you have a defense like that, a championship caliber defense, and Redskins fans, let me tell you, you have a heck of a lot to be excited about. And I think they know it too, and that's why this stadium has been packed all season long. They know what's going to come ahead. When they get this offense rolling, get some big plays downfield, this team's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Taylor Jacobs, good tackle on the play for a loss by Brian Williams. That's a good play by the cornerback.
You're talking about offensive line, min or two. You're talking about another year of experience and growth with Ramsey under what exactly Joe Gibbs wants from him. And you're talking about some wide receivers as well.
Yeah,
some big play wide receivers, guys that can get open. And the combination of that, along with this defense, it spells exactly the same combination that won him Super Bowls before.
Redskins have to get to the 38 for a first down. They're 5 for 6 on third down. The blitz. Pass goes wide of Rod Gardner. Good blitz by Brian Russell. I think it bothered Patrick Ramsey a little bit. He jumped up, got the hand in the face, and the pass intended for Gardner was wide. Second punt of the game coming up.
Well, it certainly did. Here comes Russell in here. Here comes the pressure, and it's in his face. And he lets that ball fly to the out. He threw it to the out, and Gardner kept running the go.
Tom Tupa. Second game, almost. He got hit. He went down. It's clean. Ball picked up by Nate Burleson. He wanted to return it. A dangerous move. Thrash had a piece of Burleson, and Burleson still wanted to get away. Got a couple of yards up to the 38-yard line. Check out what happened to Tom Tupa. 36-yard punt. He got a piece of the ball a little bit. No penalty.
Kelly Campbell came clean free. Larry Ned was over the center, and he was the one who got the pull on that.
Vikings from the 39. Quick outside of Burleson. Picks up a block from Moss. Gets up to the 45-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play. Only the second catch of the game for Nate Burleson. Now, can Minnesota take advantage of the fact that the top 2 corners for the Redskins, Fred Smoot has been out all game, and Sean Springs, who's out here in the second half?
Not with the kind of pressure they've had on Culpepper. It doesn't matter. If Culpepper can elude pressure, sometime if this defense just gets tired of chasing them around, if he can elude the pressure, it might cost them.
Culpepper gets protection out of the backfield. Michael Bennett, first down across midfield. And Sean Springs has just returned from the locker room to the sideline for the Redskins, and we'll go down to the field to Chris Myers. Chris.
Sam, on that last defensive series, Coach Tice was with the offensive linemen as if to put the responsibility of the second half of this game on their shoulders. Pro Bowl center Matt Burke told me before the game, our situation coming in eerily similar to last year at Arizona. We have a chance to exercise the demons this time. Right now they need to do a little more exercising.
You're right about that, Chris. It's Ontario Smith in the backfield. He caught that last pass. Culpepper was pushed back, but Smith is wide open. Big gainer. And Ontario Smith barrels his way down inside the 30-yard line to the 26, where Walt Harris took him down. 24-yard pickup on the play.
Well, exercising is what they need to do. Watch Joe Salovey. Watch the push he gets on Dixon right into Culpepper's lap. But Culpepper and his ability to just step left, step right, dash when he needs to dash, get out of trouble, that's what enabled that play to happen.
is in. Sean Burton's in the backfield as well. First down at the Redskins 25. And a check by Culpepper. It's Ontario Smith. Nothing there. Great work up front, led by Cornelius Griffin. Dropping him for a loss back to the 28-yard line.
Well, Matt Burke tries to get out here. He's the center. You know how Matt Burke always has the ability to get out in front of you? Well, look, he couldn't even get, there he is right in there. He couldn't even get out in front of you because it gets too combobulated in there, too congested. And Greg Williams, I was talking earlier, Sam, that he has a little contest going with these guys.
There's second down and 13. Off the play fake. Culpepper going deep. Into the corner for Burlington, for Moss. He caught it. What a catch by Randy Moss.
Finally it opened up for him. And let me tell you, Sam, it wasn't open too big because they rolled coverage to Randy Moss. The safety over the top of the corner. You mentioned two corners being out, with Springs out and Smoot being out.
Wow. What a play by Moss. What an adjustment and a great catch. Here's Anderson for the extra point, and the Vikings are within 4. Dante Culpepper has now thrown a touchdown pass in 21 straight games. It's the 53rd touchdown pass he's thrown to Randy Moss in their careers. 28 yards. It's good for the touchdown. A phenomenal catch by Randy Moss. He's caught touchdown catches. He's had touchdowns in each of the last 4 games and in 10 of the 11 games in which he's played this season. That time, Sean Taylor was there, Bill, but he just took the ball away from him.
Well, these two are going to have a fierce battle the rest of the way. This thing isn't nearly over. Randy Moss got even, but you saw the look on Sean Taylor's face. He's mad about it.
Short kickoff return by Mike Sellers, who was injured in the first half, but back in the game, and he gets it back up to the 33-yard line. This is what Bill was talking about. First half, Bill?
Well, that was the first half, and they went up for a deep ball to Randy Moss. Now, this is Randy Moss getting revenge on Taylor and Walt Harris in double coverage. Moss worked both of them.
Dante Culpepper has thrown 38 touchdown passes this season, second in the NFL. He continues to set Vikings passing records.
2 more touchdowns, and he joins in a very elite class, doesn't he?
Marino, Manning, and Kurt Warner, the only quarterbacks to throw 40 or more touchdown passes in a season.
It's amazing to me that Brett Favre's not going to do it.
Yeah. Redskins from the 33. Ramsey short to Thrash. Thrash taken down right away by Chris Claiborne at the 37-yard line. 4th catch of the game for James Thrash.
I thought that was awful close to being picked. I was watching the play unfold from up here. I thought Claiborne had the ability to step right in front of that thing. He just hesitated for a second to gather his thoughts where he was, and then it cost him a pick, which could have been gone the other way for a touchdown, Sam. There's nothing but green back there.
You're right. Ovan and Johnstone on the defensive line for Minnesota. 3 wide receivers for Washington. Ramsey being pressured, gets rid of it too high. Intended for the tight end, Robert Royal.
That's good coverage. Good coverage by the Minnesota Vikings secondary.
Vikings defense has been strange, Bill. They'll go a game where they'll play a half, they'll be excellent. And then they'll play a half, and you say, this team shouldn't be on the field.
You're right, and it's young guys. Take a look at some of the guys there. Kenichi Udeze, Kevin Williams in his, second year?
That's right.
Okay, you have E.J. Henderson, his second year. He's basically still a rookie. Spencer Johnson.
He's a rookie.
Yeah, all young guys. Dontarius Thomas.
On 3rd down, Ramsey deep drop. Fires and completes it to Rod Gardner. It's a first down for the Redskins up at the 46-yard line. First catch of the game for Rod Gardner. Some talk that he might not be back with the Redskins next season.
Well, if the problem is big plays and the problem is wide receivers not getting open, hey, that's the name of the beast, right? Hey, if you're a wide receiver, you got to do two things. One is get open, and two, catch the ball when it comes your way. And I think that these receivers have had trouble doing both all year.
From the 46, Liddell Betts got a couple of yards. Chris Claiborne comes through with a good hit up at the 48-yard line.
You know, and if you talk to Joe Gibbs, that's the one thing he always talks about when he talks about this team and the offense. And of course, he blames himself all the time, but he talks about the big plays, the plays downfield, the number of balls thrown downfield, and the drop balls downfield, and the opportunities downfield that haven't gotten it. Whether it was because of the wide receiver, whether it was because of the quarterback, whether it was because of pass protection.
2nd and 8, Royal motions, 3 wide receivers in, play fake by Ramsey. And he lets it fly for Thrash. He's got it!
I think he might have been out of bounds.
Beautiful catch by James Thrash. The officials say it's a catch at the 21-yard line.
First of all, I thought Thrash pushed off a little bit, and then it looked from up here, anyhow, real quick. It looked like he may have been out of bounds. But 83 got his hands up there. He just gives a little push. Right there's a little push. And he catches the ball. There's 1 foot in, and then he's out of bounds. Does that not look like out of bounds? I can't.
Let's see.
There's a foot down, and then
knee. The knee's down.
Knee is down. One knee down is 2 feet, or thigh, or leg, or arm, or elbow, or anything else is 2 feet.
I think he wanted a challenge, and now Mike Tice may be taking it back. Yeah. I think he got the word that the knee was down.
Minnesota is challenging the ruling on the field that it was a completed pass.
Okay. He is going through with the challenge. 31-yard pickup if the play stands. Pass over Terrence Shaw. And the knee.
That's good.
If it stands, it'll be catch number 5 on the day for James Thrash.
He's been big. And that's one thing. That's one thing. 5 receptions, 81 yards.
Season highs for him.
Oh, yeah. And they've done a lot of 3 and 4 wide receivers today. As you said earlier, a little different look by the Washington Redskins. But, you know, the one thing Washington Redskins always do, Sam, is they have these star players. You know, they'll have a great quarterback or a great receiver or a great running back. But even back when they were winning Super Bowls, it was all the other guys that won games for them. You know, it was the Donnie Warrens or some wide receiver or a fullback or an H-back, Gary Clark. You know, and today, and even through this season, look who's scoring touchdowns. Chris Cooley's, you know, Robert Royals. And you look at today, what has occurred, 5 receptions by James Thrash.
After reviewing the play, the receiver's knee, touchdown, inbounds, maintain possession of the ball. It's a catch, first down. Minnesota is charged a timeout.
And Bill, they only have 1 timeout remaining in this half, the Vikings.
Oh, there's the knee down inbounds. You see the possession and a great job of holding on to the ball through the catch. And that's a big part of it as well. If that ball had jarred loose right there, it wouldn't matter if his knee was inbounds.
Vikings burned a timeout early in this 3rd quarter, and now charged with a timeout on the challenge that fails. Redskins 1st and 10 at the Vikings 21. Cooley shifts. Betts carries with blockers. And the Vikings with a good job. Kevin Williams penetrates and makes the stop. JB's got an update for us. JB, what is it?
Well, we know a St. Louis law certainly helps the Vikings, but take a look at this ensuing kickoff return here by the Jets, who had just given up a touchdown. Jericho Cottrell, 94 yards, Sam, looking good. That makes it 21-17. They've narrowed the gap. That with 10:40 left in the 3rd. Back to Sam Rosen and Bill Moss.
Thank you, JB. The 1 score there, Carolina. If Carolina lost, Minnesota would be in. Right now, St. Louis leading. That doesn't help the Vikings. On 2nd down, Ramsey in trouble. Ball is loose, and the Vikings recover. Kevin Williams forced the fumble. And the Vikings recover.
Kenichi Adeza recovered that, 95, and it was Kevin Williams with the big hit. Here's Kevin Williams. Take a look at him on the inside here. Watch the push he gets, and then 95 is going to follow up with the recovery. He just beat Randy Thomas, who I think is one heck of a good guard. That's how explosive and how good Kevin Williams is. Going to the Pro Bowl in only his second year. 10 sacks, 11 sacks now inside for the season. What a job. What a rush.
And a big play. Second time the Redskins have turned the ball over at the 21-yard line. Culpepper checking off. Vikings down by 4 flags. 2 flags go in. False start against Minnesota. It was very loud down there.
False start. 73, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's his second. And remember, the first one cost him down there at the goal line when it was going to be 3rd and short or 3rd and 1.
3rd and inches
right
inside
down
the 1.
Yeah, and the same thing happened. You had a false start, Sam, and it backed them up. They had to settle for a field goal.
There's Kevin Williams. What a game he's had. An interception, a sack, forced fumble. Ontario Smith in the backfield.
I think he has about 8 tackles as well.
Marcus Robinson in as a 3rd wide receiver. 1st and 15 for the Vikings. Culpepper steps up. Boy, he makes it happen. Deep for Moss, just overthrown. 3 Redskins downfield.
There's a flag downfield. Was he carried too far on the jam?
The flag is at the 27-yard line.
Was he carried too far, Sam? That's right about where you get past 5 yards. That's about where that
Illegal
flag
contact. Defense. Number 27. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You're right on there, Bill. They called it on Harris. Let's see.
There's the hands, but what happens is right there, Sean Taylor comes up and makes contact with him after Walt Harris did. Walt Harris was actually fine. The penalty is actually on Taylor.
Right. Taylor wanted a piece of Moss, but that one costs the Redskins because it's a first down.
What do you do to his face
21.
mask? His face mask all taped up. See Taylor's face mask?
Ontario Smith at running back. Carries on first down. Not much. Maybe lost a yard. And Lamar Marshall, the linebacker, comes in and makes the stop.
Sean Taylor's playing over the top. They're doubling Randy Moss. And as soon as he realizes it's not pass and it's a run, he throws his body in there for safety support on the outside. Look at his face mask. What does he have there, Sam?
Not sure. Tape all around.
It looks like one of those racing checkered flags, huh?
Maybe. Got back to the line of scrimmage at 2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers again for the Vikings. Culpepper being rushed. But Moss, he was not ready for that pass. It was an emergency outlet for Culpepper, who's about to be hit by Ronaldo Wynn.
You're right. And he had Nate Burleson open, and he can't find his receivers, Sam. He knows that he doesn't have much time back there. Look, he's closing in on him under about right at almost 3 seconds. And people are breathing down his neck. The offensive line, and Mike Tyson was right. If they're going to win this game, it's up to the offensive line.
3rd down and 10. 5th defensive back is safety Todd Franz. Sean Springs is out of the game. A lot of noise. Blitz coming. Culpepper in trouble. Dumps it. Caught by Wiggins. And he is wrestled down by Antonio Pierce at the 26. Way short of the first down line. Boy, they brought everybody. First there was France, and then there was Clark.
Well, here's comes. Going to come this side. Watch them filter down here late. That's what I was talking about when I was saying watch these guys on defense. The Redskins jump up and out and back and forth. You don't know who's coming, who's going. And that's the problems that the Minnesota Vikings offensive line is having. Who's coming and who's not. By the time they figure it out, 9 times out of 10, they're already beat.
Darren Bennett to punt. Gets it away. Antonio Brown lets it bounce. Good roll for the Vikings. Brown picks it up. Comes up the sideline, gets out of bounds, close to the 40-yard line. The last time the Vikings played a game in Washington, it was at RFK Stadium. It was during the 1993 season. And the Vikings needed a win to make the playoffs. Jim McMahon was at quarterback. The handoff, Scotty Graham scored to give the Vikings a lead. Vikings played tough defense. And then McMahon with a big touchdown pass to Anthony Carter. Vikings won 14-9 and made the playoffs. Will history repeat? Right now, the Redskins lead 14-10 and have the ball at their own 38-yard line. Liddell Betts across the 40 to the 42. Late third quarter. The Vikings have never led in this game. Redskins took the opening kickoff and moved in for a touchdown. Led 14-3 at halftime. Vikings have had a couple of big defensive plays to keep them in it. With the Redskins in scoring position, they had an interception by Kevin Williams and a forced fumble by Williams. From the 41, it's Betts again. Bounced off one man and fights his way forward to the 43-yard line. We have reached the end of the third quarter. The Minnesota Vikings trying to find a way to get into the playoffs. They trail the Redskins 14-10. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, Chris Myers. And the clock is ticking down on the Minnesota Vikings in the regular season. And don't forget, next week, it's the two-night premiere event. Begins at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 24 with Kiefer Sutherland. It's back. Jack Bauer is back to protect us all.
Jack is back. And that's tonight, right?
No, next week.
No, you said tonight.
Did I say no? Yeah. It's a two-night.
No, you said tonight, so it's on tonight?
Oh, you're starting with me. You're starting. It's a two-night.
I got you. Next Sunday it starts for 2 nights, Sunday and Monday.
You got it.
Don't miss Jack Brewer, 24.
Ramsey in trouble. They got him. A third down blitz, the second sack of the game for the Minnesota Vikings. Keith Newman coming strong from the outside. Kevin Williams was there, but it was Newman leading the way.
Kevin Williams is just having a whale of a game. He gets the rush right up the middle. That's all Kevin Williams, Sam. Right up the middle over Corey Raymer. He just beats him with that swat and swim move, or swat and rip, and he's right by him, right on top of Ramsey.
Probably give him half a sack on that. Third punt of the game for Tom Tupa. Line drive. Burleson gets away from one man, trying to get outside. Slipping and dodging a couple of tackles as he gets across the 30-yard line. And now the Vikings offense will have to do its thing. They need points to win.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Best Buy, thousands of possibilities, get yours. By WebMD, redefining modern medicine. And by Taco Bell, think outside the bun.
That sack was credited all to Kevin Williams. Gives him 2 in the game, 12 on the season. Last Viking to have 12 sacks in a season, John Randall in 1997.
Oh, I know, Sam. I'll sniff out a sack. I remember. You had a battle for those. You have to have a keen eye for those sacks because every half of them count.
How about that, Kevin Williams? What a season he's having. Now the Vikings
have it. The reason the Vikings are in this game is because of him.
From the 32, Culpepper swings it out. Ontario Smith one-on-one against Lamar Marshall. Marshall takes him down at the 36-yard line. Let's go to the field to Chris Myers.
Sam, crunch time for the Viking offense. Both of Washington's starting cornerbacks are out on defense. So number 27, Walt Harris, has more pressure on himself. He loves covering Randy Moss, even going back to his Chicago Bear days. He said, that's the kind of guy I want to face. I can get physical with him. I just have to know when and how to do it. The one thing you want to avoid with Randy is a jump ball. He always wins those battles.
Second down. Ontario Smith and Sean Burton in the backfield. Randy Moss motions. The play fake. Flag on the play. It's going to be on Goldberg. The throw by Culpepper way downfield for Moss. He goes up and grabs it. Moss goes in, but I think the play is going to be negated. It's going to be, I believe, on Adam Goldberg for holding. He took down Ron Warner.
Holding. Offense. Number 73. 10-yard penalty.
It would have been a 62-yard touchdown. Instead, Goldberg gets the penalty.
Oh. Here it is right here. His head's down, his arm's around his neck, and he falls on him. See, when you got that arm around the neck, Sam, that flag's going to come out. That negates one heck. I mean, I watched Randy Moss run that route, the entire route, and he was working the inside seam. And Dante Culpepper bought himself time and aired the thing out to him, and he made an adjustment on the ball, just like Chris was talking about. There's nobody better when the ball's in the air.
Now it becomes a 2nd and 14. 3 wide receivers for the Vikings. And Culpepper works out of the shotgun again. Culpepper has time, now being pressured, and he throws it into the ground. Cornelius Griffin with big-time pressure. Let's find out what's happening in Carolina and go to JB.
All right, Sam Rosen, take a look here. After the Saints make that Carolina has scored, look at the Saints come right back. 2 big pass plays to Joe Horn. 44 of them right there. That expanded the lead, 21-10. And we know that this Rams score is important for Vikings fans. Rams right now nursing a 1-point lead there over the Jets late in the 3rd. Back to Sam Rosen.
Thanks, JB. So the one score that's big that's helping the Vikings is Carolina losing. Sean Springs is back on the field on a big 3rd and 14. Blitz coming from Springs. Pass incomplete. Springs, who had a sack earlier. Culpepper very upset.
Oh, look at him.
Trying to figure out what he's upset about. Yelling at the umpire. Springs came on for 1 play. He has been sick and out of the game for the entire 2nd half. He came into blitz. He had a sack earlier and almost got another one.
I think he felt, though, as though there was nobody in the vicinity of the throw, and I think he was mad because he felt as if the receiver was held up and wasn't able to get the inside, but it was within 5 yards.
Darren Bennett gets it away. Vikings are there to cover, and it bounces out of bounds at the Redskins' 29-yard line. Still a long ways to go. 42-yard punt. Washington still leading.
Watch this route by Randy Moss. He's working the inside. He ends up on Antonio Pierce. They're playing quarters to that side. So the first quarter is Antonio Pierce, and it's a mismatch. He's down there in position with him when the ball's in the air. Moss is going to make the play, and it all got called back and nullified because of a holding call on Adam Goldberg.
Redskins from the 29. Benson Cooley in the backfield. Benson carrying. And gets a hard-earned 5 yards on 1st down. Brian Russell and E.J. Henderson make the stop. Still a long way to go. Vikings have only 1 timeout remaining as they try their comeback attempt.
Well, the way the Washington Redskins have been chewing up the clock, this Minnesota Vikings defense, which has done a good job all day long, need to do it again. They've got to get off the field and get the ball back in Dante Culpepper's hands.
Vikings have had only 1 good drive for a score. That was 61 yards. Ramsey off the plate fake to Cooley for a 1st down. And Cooley is knocked out of bounds by Terrence Shaw at the 45-yard line. Boy, Chris Cooley has been a terrific player in his rookie season. Ted Cottrell upset that he was wide open. 12-yard pickup on the play.
Man, he should be upset he was wide open. Chris Cooley, a Utah State surfer? Is that possible?
I don't know, whatever he says. But he knows football. They always say about him, smart, knows the game, is always in the right spot. Does so many things.
Guy snowboards, too.
Here's Betts. Little cutback. Nice gain. Down to the Vikings 46-yard line. He picked up 8 on the play. Brian Williams with a tackle. Let's go down to the field to Chris Myers.
Sam, Bill, Chris Cooley had a nice block on that play. You're talking about his personality. He was an art major and says he goes down in the basement sometimes and puts music on and paints things. But as a wrestler in high school, as a senior, he was 40-0. He said he would dominate so much that he would wave to the cheerleaders when he pinned his opponent. And Joe Gibbs said, I love wrestlers because I never met a wrestler who was a coward. Chris Cooley's a gamer for the Redskins.
Tough. He likes smart and tough, as Joe gives. Play fake by Ramsey. Throwing deep, wide open. Taylor Jacobs to the goal line, and he is stopped just short of the goal line. The Vikings are worried. The Redskins are pumped up. Taylor Jacobs, a 45-yard pickup.
3 tight end set. You think run, and look what happens. You have the strong safety up. Willie Alford is deep. Willie Alford, it was on the corner. He was playing corner out there, Sam.
Now it's 1st and goal for the Redskins. Looking to widen the lead. Cooley motions. Betts carries. Betts is in. There are flags on the play. Now we check out this important one here.
I think they have too many men on the field. How many men does Minnesota have out there?
Vikings 3, 5, 7, 10, I think 11. 2, 5, 6.
No, they're
okay. 12? They had 12 on the field.
There's your 12th.
Russell just ran off the field.
He tried to sneak out the back.
There it is. The penalty against the Vikings. The touchdown counts. Ladell Betts takes it in. And the Vikings are in big trouble here. It becomes a 2-score game. First rushing touchdown of the season for Ladell Betts. And you can read it in the eyes of the Vikings. They needed to play a mistake-free game. They have not done that. Penalties been a factor. A couple by the offensive lineman, Adam Goldberg. Jeff Chandler's extra point is good. The Washington Redskins, over only the 3rd time this season, they have scored over 20 points. They lead the Vikings 21-10.
Fox NFL Sundays brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
Next week, playoff time, and the NFL on Fox brings you an NFC wildcard game beginning at 4 o'clock Eastern time with the #1 pregame show there is, presented in Fox Sports High Definition, and it'll be followed by a 2-hour season premiere of 24. The best news for the Vikings, the Rams are trailing, and Carolina is trailing 21-10 starting the 4th quarter. Pittsburgh leading Buffalo. It will kill Buffalo's chances. Chandler's kickoff to Mwelde Moore at the 8. Moore's tripped up. Falls down at the 25. The ball popped loose, but it was down. The ball was down. We have got an update from JB on what's going on around the league. JB.
Well, you just showed us the statistical embellishment. Take a look here. Mark Bulger's pass is deflected by Sean Ellis, picked off by Jonathan Vilma, who both Howie Long, Jimmy Johnson says having a great year. He takes it in for the score. 2-point conversion is no good. Jets on top 26-21. That, of course, is good news for Vikings fans. Back to Sam Rosen.
Thanks, JB. Jonathan Vilma has been simply outstanding for the Jets. Quick outside of Moss. Picks up a block. And he's pulled down at the line of scrimmage.
No, that's hustle. Cornelius Griffin out there hustling away.
Oh, he's had a terrific season. An alternate for the Pro Bowl. But if he was voted to the Pro Bowl, he certainly deserved to be there. Well, he's had a great year.
This guy is 3rd on the team in tackles, Sam. That's hard to believe for a defensive tackle. 3rd on the team. And he's in the hunt for the most valuable defensive player.
And a lot of those tackles for losses, Bill.
Yeah, and he's battling right now. Antonio Pierce and Marcus Washington, they're all about neck and neck in points for Defensive Player of the Year.
Ronaldo Wynn all over Culpepper, and he threw it towards Jermaine Wiggins, but into the ground. Once again, protection breaking down for Culpepper.
Ronaldo Wynn has been there week in, week out. He's not one of the marquee names on this defense, but he's one of the guys that makes it go. Only 3 players on this Redskins defense have been there for every single game.
Third and long, Sean Springs to this. Ronaldo Wynn, you were talking about Sean Springs, who has been sick. He's been coming in the last 2 series on third and long. There comes the blitz from Springs. It's picked up. Culpepper connects with Burleson. He fought off 2 tacklers and got a first down. That's a great effort by Nate Burleson as he gets to the 40-yard line.
Oh, and he comes over. 36, Sean Taylor comes over on the sidelines, and he's lucky there was the penalty thrown. He comes over there at the end when 38, Wilds misses a tackle. Watch Garnell Wilds. He doesn't wrap up here. He tries to shoulder tackle him and knock him down. Taylor hit him in bounds. You know, Sean Taylor, he's a guy, trust me, he's never read the warning label on the inside of his helmet. Never.
On first down, Culpepper to Wiggins. They pick up about 6 on first down. Sean Springs stays in the game and wraps up Jermaine Wiggins. 5th catch of the game for Jermaine Wiggins, who leads the Vikings with 69. Very important possession for the Minnesota Vikings. They trail by 10. They must get points. 5 defensive backs for the Redskins. Kelly Campbell in motion. Culpepper gets time, throws over the middle of Burleson. He dropped it. Oh, he had the end zone in front of him. Nate Burleson with a huge drop. Things not going right for the Vikings.
Nate Burleson tied atop the Minnesota Vikings team leaders in receptions, came into the game tied at 64. That may have been the biggest drop of the season.
Brings up 3rd and 5. Chris Clemens, number 57, is in as a defensive end, the pass rusher. Redskins ready to blitz. Culpepper rolls, throws. Randy Moss fell out of bounds, incomplete. Did not have possession inbounds. 4th down, Vikings punting unit is coming on.
I think about the Minnesota Vikings and I look at them, and first of all, they're the southernmost northern team I've ever seen play football. For northern, northern teams kind of have that northern mentality. You think about, the Green Bay Packers, the New England Patriots, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're the southernmost northern team I've ever seen play the game. But when I look at this game, 3 things jump out at me. The Burleson drop, the 2 penalties on Goldberg, and you're talking about 3 touchdowns there.
Good punt by Bennett. Fair catch called for by Antonio Brown at the 13-yard line. 41-yard punt, no return. Nate Burleson shaking his head on the bench, telling his teammates, I don't know what happened. Mike Tice came over to pat him on the back, try to console him. Big drop by Burleson. He had an angle toward the goal line. Now it's up to the Vikings defense to get the ball back. Redskins from their own 13. Vikings have only 1 timeout remaining. Liddell Betts, who's rushed for 62 yards, tacked on another 5 right there. This just barrels forward. Betts has been solid. He's not a spectacular runner. Likes to run inside the tackles.
This could be all she wrote right here, but
if they can control the football.
Oh, well, they can. There's one thing that Washington can do. They can control the football. They have They can eat up in 8 minutes. They've done it before. They've done it in the first half. And you're calling on a defense and asking them to do something you've already gotten out of them 3 or 4 times that they haven't gotten all season long.
Here's Betts again. Spins away and then is ridden down by Claiborne. Look at him still fight for an extra yard or 2 and got close to the first down line.
You know, and that's what I'm talking about. They can chew you up. And I love this guy, Betts. I love the way he runs. I love his workmanlike attitude and his desire and dogged determination. But for Minnesota, when one guy's dropping you up, the other 3 strip the ball. That's basic football 101. When you got a guy trying to get extra yards and you need the ball back, when one guy's tackling, the other 5 of you strip the football. I didn't see one player around that ball trying to strip it.
First down, and that's all Liddell Betts. That should have been stopped for no gain. He gets a first down at the 23-yard line. If the Vikings can't come back, it'll be out of their hands. They will have to hope that either the Jets or the Saints win. Beat St. Louis or Carolina in order to back in.
Right now, both those things are occurring.
This game is ahead of those 2. Betts, nice haul, nice run. And the ball control offense. First down, Washington at the 36. Claiborne the tackle. Betts piling up the yardage. He picked up 13 on the play.
Check out Betts here. This is what the guy. I can't say enough about him that he isn't showing you and displaying to you. I mean, everything he runs and how he runs and his desire and determination is a staple of him. There's nothing I can say to accentuate what he's doing on the field.
23 carries, 85 yards. Here's some more. Got about 1, maybe 2. Willie Offord came in to make the stop. But I also like what Joe Gibbs has done in this game, Bill. I think from the beginning of the game, he changed the way he called plays, different formations, different personnel groupings.
Not so much.
3 tight ends, 4 wide receivers. They hadn't used 4 wide receivers, Bill.
People, it was sparingly, but it matched up well for them against this defense.
Yeah.
And that's why he was able to do that. Now, you can't do that against some defenses, but Joe Gibbs knows what works against what people. And you can see what he did with his own defense against Minnesota Vikings offense.
Betts again. Good hole. He just lowers the shoulder and pushes forward for an extra 2 yards.
And since they've had the ball, Sam, they've taken 3 minutes off the clock.
And now it's getting serious against the Vikings. Sean Burton. A lot of dejection on the Vikings bench. If they're to go into the playoffs, they wanted to go in on an upbeat. Adam Goldberg, a couple of big penalties in this game have hurt his team.
He's strapped up and ready to go. He's walking, he's pacing the sidelines. He's alone. He's by himself. He wants another shot to try to redeem the 2 touchdowns he virtually cost.
Betts on 3rd and 4. He's got it. What a run by Liddell Betts down to the Vikings 31-yard line.
Hey, when they took the field that time, I told you, turn out the lights, baby.
Over 100 yards for Liddell Betts.
There's the counter OT. There's Samuels out in front. Dockery out in front. And Betts, the patient, he is, to me, Betts, the better of the 2, all the running backs, the best of all the running backs at running the counter O.
27-yard pickup gives him 118 yards on the game, his second career 100-yard game. First down, Redskins at the Vikings 31. It's Rock Cartwright, his first carry. As Liddell Betts gets a rest.
You know, Rock Cartwright used to be a fullback.
That's his first carry of the season.
Then he's been switched to running back. But Rock Cartwright is a fullback's name, you know?
Hey, you're right.
Rock Cart, to me, that's a guy that's going to get in there and block you and blow you up and open holes for everybody else. Rock Cartwright, that doesn't fit with the smooth style, sweet little moves of a halfback.
Mark Wells is in at right tackle. Cartwright's second carry. This one is a loss. His first 2 carries of the season. Vikings come up to stop him. Number 98 is Darian Scott, rookie out of Ohio State, to make the tackle. But the Vikings have only 1 timeout plus the 2-minute warning.
5
minutes. They need
minutes
2 scores in the game.
5 minutes since they've taken over this possession of the ball. And this is what this offense is good at. This is what this offense is going to excel at. And when they get the passing game to coincide with this kind of mentality and that defense they have, Washington, you fans have a lot of great things to look forward to in 2005.
That's Mark Wilson, number 63, in at right tackle, replacing Ray Brown. The play fake, the blitz, and they got him. Ramsey is taken down by Keith Newman. 3rd sack of the game for the Vikings. An important play, but now time is the enemy.
There's Keith Newman here, and it's a blitz. And, hey, what else are you going to do in this situation? You know, you've got to bring some pressure. You've got to try to rattle the cage. You're down to 3 minutes, and if your defensive coordinator doesn't call it, your offensive head coach, or he better do it. Mike Dice better say, hey, Ted, get after him, you know? They've just chewed up 5 minutes. Let's send some birds after them and get after these guys and try to cause something to happen. We need a turnover.
Winding down toward the 2-minute warning. And the Redskins take a delay of game here. Clock stops with 2:06. But the Vikings need 2 scores. Mike Tice has got to come up with something. We welcome those of you who are watching the New England Patriots beat the San Francisco 49ers 21-7. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, Chris Myers at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, where the Washington Redskins lead the Minnesota Vikings 21-10 with just over 2 minutes remaining. A game the Vikings need in order to ensure that they make the playoffs. The punt by Cooper goes in the end zone for a touchback. However, the Vikings, if they lost, could still get in if either St. Louis or Carolina lose. And both those teams are trailing in the 4th quarter. 2 minutes to go.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by SBC. Going beyond the call.
Well, the Vikings must be seeing those scores come in.
You know what? They've been sitting there. The Vikings have been looking up at the scoreboard the whole time. They have watched both the Carolina score and the St. Louis score. And they're well aware that right now they're in, no matter what. They've been aware of this the whole game. Their benches are facing the scoreboards here where the team scores are.
But those games still have a ways to go. Carolina, if either Carolina or St. Louis lose, Minnesota will get in.
Carolina needs as many points as Minnesota needs right now with 7 minutes to go.
From the 20, out of the shotgun with only 1 timeout remaining. Vikings have been held to under 200 yards passing thus far in the game. Culpepper short to Jermaine Wiggins, and he's down at the line of scrimmage. Darnell Wilds makes the tackle. Hurry-up offense for the Vikings. We welcome those of you who are watching the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, and Chris Myers here in Landover, Maryland, where the Washington Redskins lead the Minnesota Vikings 21-10. The Redskins have led all the way from the opening series. Culpepper to Mo Williams and gets up to the 29-yard line. The Vikings need 2 scores. They have only 1 timeout remaining, but even if they lose, should Carolina or St. Louis lose, the Vikings would back into the playoffs.
And Minnesota's had its opportunity today, Sam. 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. 2 of them called back by penalty. 1 drop pass by Nate Burleson.
Here's Culpepper off the play fake, connects with Burleson. He holds on to this one, gets up to the 45. but the Washington Redskins defense, second in the NFL, has been absolutely superb.
Oh, suffocating. This defense is suffocating, and they can do it to the best offenses in this league.
A spike by Culpepper with 44 seconds remaining. If you just joined us, take a look at some of the things that happened in this game. 66-yard return with the opening kickoff by Antonio Brown. It sets up a touchdown pass from Ramsey to Chris Cooley. Later on in the first half, Robert Royal, the reception for the touchdown. Minnesota came back, a brilliant catch by Randy Moss. Cut it to 14-10, but then Liddell Betts finished off a drive by the Redskins with a 1-yard touchdown run. Betts has rushed for 118 yards in the game. Culpepper all day throwing, underthrows Marcus Robinson. It'll be mixed emotions for Nate Burleson. He's gone over 1,000 yards receiving this season. But earlier in this fourth quarter, he was wide open when he dropped a pass that looked like it would have gone for a Minnesota touchdown.
Sam, I can tell you that as a player, not a receiver, but as a player, you don't care about any of those other receptions that you caught. All will haunt you all off season is that one he dropped for a touchdown.
3rd and 10 for the Vikings. Culpepper looking, dumps it off to Wiggins, juggles, drops, incomplete. Chris Clemens was there to bat it up in the air. It's been a tough day. The Vikings continue to have trouble winning outdoors, Bill.
Yep, they're going to be right now. Losing 20 of 22 outdoor games. The last 20 of 22 outdoor venues contests for the Minnesota Vikings.
SBC postgame report coming up. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will bring you all of the highlights and scores around the league, update you on the playoff picture. Here's 4th and 10. Culpepper steps up, dumps it off to Wiggins. Wiggins gets a first down to the 38-yard line of the Redskins. 20 seconds remaining.
They burn their final timeout.
That's it. Wiggins comes up with a clump of grass. There won't be enough time for Minnesota. They're going to need help. 18 seconds remaining in the regular season. And it will mean even if the Vikings get in and they back in, they'll have to go on the road outdoors.
You know, there's a lot of people that will tell you that, heck, well, if you're in, you're in. But do you see that head right there? Do you see the look on those faces right there? That is not a look of confidence. Trust me. When you go take a look at Adam Goldberg right after this game, look in his eyes. Look at Kenny Mixon's eyes. Natale, look at the guys. Yeah, okay, so you're going to the playoffs. When you lose 4 of your last 5 games, there's really no sense in going to the playoffs because the confidence that you won at the end of the seasons to roll into the playoffs isn't there. And I don't know if you can ever get it back because the first bad thing that goes bad, that's what you start thinking about. That's what they've been conditioned to think about in the last 5 games.
It would be 4 out of 5 and 7 of the last 10 after a 5-1 start. Culpepper sends everybody out deep. Wants to go to the end zone. There it goes. Lets it fly. And it's knocked down by Sean Springs. Went off his shoulder. He had position for an interception. And now 13 seconds remaining. And once again, the last game of the season. Last year it was in Arizona. And the Vikings lost to the Cardinals when a win would have put them in the playoffs. A win today and they would have been in. Well, now they have to hope for that score in St. Louis to hold up and the score in Carolina to hold up, where Carolina's trailing New Orleans 21-10 with 6:17 to go.
I would normally tell you about this Minnesota Vikings team, Sam, that it's going to be the same story year in and year out until they get their defense corrected. But their defense played exceptionally well today. It's been the offense shooting themselves in the foot that has cost this game.
Culpepper to the end zone. Jump ball. Marcus Robinson's got it. Touchdown Vikings with only 2 seconds remaining.
Boy, did he go up and get that thing. Did he leap out of his shoes and go get that?
Culpepper let it fly. Jump ball, and Robinson wins it. 38-yard touchdown pass. Dante Culpepper's second of the game and 39th of the season.
Well, here's you know what it is. The Hail Mary, and this is in the back of the end zone. Moss is up in the front of the end zone, and Burleson's to the inside. Randy sees how far the ball was thrown back, and he lets Burleson take a shot at it. I'm sorry, Marcus Robinson take his shot at it, and he just outleaped everybody.
Vikings go for 2. Culpepper, shovel pass. Ontario Smith is in. He's got the 2-point conversion. So now, with 2 seconds remaining in the game.
Remember, no clock. The clock does not run on the extra point.
So you've got 2 seconds remaining. I don't know how the Vikings will be able to come up with a ball and get it into the end zone.
They only have 1 shot. They went for 2 in the hopes maybe of thinking that what the heck if they get a field goal, but they can't get a field goal out of this.
Not enough
With
time.
2 seconds left, the clock starts running not at the kick, but at the touch of the reception or the touch of an illegal touching by the kicking team. That's when the clock will stop.
It's Rusty Tillman, who had a fine career with the Washington Redskins in the 70s. He's the special teams coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Trying to come up with some kind of miracle play.
Well, there's only one miracle play, and that's a kickoff return for a touchdown. That's it. That's the miracle play. But you're going to get a squib kick here, I'm sure, to try to, you know, take the time away from a setup of a wedge. See, the hang time by a kick in the air lets that thing develop and set up. It also allows your coverage time to get down there. But you're going to see some kind of onside deal here with the hopes of retaining it.
Randy Moss, I think he figures the day is done. He's heading off. Morton Anderson will be the man lining up for the onside kick. The Redskins have receivers, running backs, and Sean Taylor's out on the field. Well,
what the heck was that?
Randy being Randy.
No trainer, no injury, just as, you know, hey, well, if we get it, we get it.
Here is Morton Anderson.
What if they get the ball on the onside right here?
Here it is, and it's loose and covered by the Redskins, and there's a flag on the play. We'll have to check out. Looks like it may be an offside. And let's get the official word. Greg Williams, his defense came through again. Terrific game by the Redskins defense. They controlled it, controlled the game, controlled the explosive offense of the Minnesota Vikings. Scott Green is waving the teams to the sidelines.
Well, the way the flags came out, it looked like it was offsides by Minnesota. And the recovery by Washington.
That's it.
It would be assessed.
There is 1 second remaining. So the Redskins need to come on the field and snap the ball. For Joe Gibbs and his team, they came prepared to play. They opened things up offensively and got the lead early. They played an outstanding game and will finish 6-10. And tomorrow he'll be in the office working on evaluations by the end of the week. They're going to have their roster set to figure out what they need to go into next season.
Well, I think he has a real good idea of what they need.
Defense has been terrific all year. They need help offensively. It's over. The Washington Redskins defeat the Minnesota Vikings 21-18. The Vikings are 8-8. They need help now from New Orleans and the New York Jets. St. Louis or Carolina must lose for the Vikings to get in. We'll be right back.
The playoff picture comes into focus. Week 17 of NFL Primetime. In the AFC, it's simple. The Jets and Broncos win, they're in. But the Ravens, Jaguars, and Bills were still alive. The Jets and Rams play OT, while the Saints, Panthers, and Vikings futures hang in the balance. The NFC West title still up for grabs. It'll either be the Seahawks or Rams. And of the big guns, who played and for how long? Confused? Don't worry. We'll spell out everything next on NFL Primetime.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
Hello once again, everybody. Happy New Year from everybody here at ESPN to all of you. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, Week 17. Who to play, who not. I mean, not our usual wild final Sunday of the season, but yet some drama.
Well, we've had some great Week 17s. We had a couple of spots still open for the playoffs. We found out who was going to fill them, but just not the way we usually get them filled.
Well, we're going to explain everything to you, but let's start with some of the games just as teams are trying to finish up with a win off the charts. The Lions were at the Titans. Joey Harrington coming on a little bit lately, but Keith Bulluck come on here, and this is what we call the hat trick, Tom. The sack, the strip, the recovery, the touchdown for the Pro Bowl linebacker Keith Bulluck, Tennessee.
Yeah, hat trick, triple play, whatever you want to call it. He rushes in, great job of stripping the ball, recovering the fumble, breaking away from a tackle, gets a good block there, gets to the end zone.
Billy Volek in place of Steve McNair has certainly thrown for big yards. A lot to this man, Drew Bennett. 14-10, the Titans lead, and new math being done in Tennessee. Lions are down 24-19, 4th and 3 under a minute to go. Joey Harrington and Donnie Nicky will knock it away. And in the end, it was Tennessee getting a win. They hadn't had any in a while. They beat the Lions 24-19, who showed some signs. Jones is going to be a nice runner. Harrington threw for 346, but neither team certainly having the type of season they were hoping for.
No, and I think these are two teams, though, that when we look next year, we see better seasons for both of these teams next season.
And at least Detroit learned how to win on the road, although not today. They'll be better. Browns and the Texans. And the Texans were a team that really knocked Jacksonville off their keister. Meanwhile, Dom Capers saying, okay, well, we did that. Now let's try to finish 500. But Alvin McKinley delivers a big sack on David Carr. And Cleveland, at least for Terry Robisky here at the end, playing hard, they sacked Carr 6 times. Carr can move for a big guy, too. The whole team's after him.
Yeah, you watch him run here. He has tremendous courage. You know, he runs downfield. He very seldom slides. He's going to get what he can. Superior athlete in this game playing quarterback.
He needs a lawnmower, though, after the play. Meanwhile, Dominic Davis is in. He had 103 yards at 22-14 Cleveland. So here we are, a minute and a half to go, the onside kick. And the Good Hands team all day long on these onside kicks and all the games you'll see had it going. And so Carr, the Texans do not get to 500. Cleveland wins it 22-14. They snap their 9-game losing streak, 131 yards rushing for Lee Suggs. When we continue, Week 17. Donovan McNabb of the Eagles, well, he wasn't playing. Which Eagles played, and could they look better than they did Monday night? And a wild AFC picture. The Bills had to win. The Jets thought they had to win. Jacksonville trying to stay alive. We'll outline it all for you when we return. Broncos 2.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting, low-carb Miller Lite.
And here we go, the 49ers already on the clock, and Tom Brady and the Patriots. Tom Brady grew up rooting for the 49ers in the Bay Area. And look at this, Ken Dorsey to Steve Bush, and the Niners lead the Patriots in Foxborough 7-0. First time in 20 regular season games or 23 games, including playoffs. The Pats did not score first, and it happens against the woe-begone 49ers. Then Tom Brady in the red zone.
Well, look at Brady. He reads the coverage. The corner is off. He throws the dump to Deion Branch. David Patton gets the block for him. That's perfect execution of a play down in the red zone. Very difficult execution of a play by the world champion Patriots.
Brady with a quarterback sneak on 4th and 2 in the third quarter. Now, Brady played, 2.5 quarters. Rohan Davey came in late in the third drive, continues fourth quarter. Corey Dillon a touchdown. And the Patriots spotting the Niners the 7-0 lead, a workmanlike in which most of their regulars played into the third quarter. The Patriots win 21-7. Teddy Bruschi, by the way, 15 tackles in this game. Dillon ran for 1,635 yards this year, had a $116 today. The Patriots, who finished 14-2, have won 29 of their last.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about this later on. But this team handled the warm-up for the playoffs, I think, the way you should.
And at 2-14, the 49ers have tied for the worst record in franchise history. Meanwhile, the Eagles, you saw them Monday night against the Rams as they played their JV. And what would they do? Well, first of all, everybody in Philadelphia or across America, but Philly where he was beloved, Reggie White, thinking about the late Reggie White, 92 decals on their helmets, and a moment of silence. Now, Donovan McNabb and many other regulars did not play. Coy Detmer played, and well, the Eagles couldn't block like they couldn't block for them on Monday night. A day to forget. Justin Smith nails him there. Then Detmer intentionally grounding in the third quarter. I mean, already they're down 17-3. And even when the Eagles were threatening, Detmer, that's a nice play by Delta O'Neal. Bengals wanted to get to 500, Tom. And Detmer picked up twice, and then Jeff Blake came in and threw an interception to Gathers right away on the first play. I mean, it was brutal. Roderick Hood, what was the day like for Philly? That's a fumble, and the Bengals get it. 5 Eagle turnovers on this day. Rudy Johnson broke Corey Dillon's franchise record for most yards in a season, 1,435. He had 99 today. And so McNabb and Westbrook and Kearse and Dawkins and Lito Shuffle Shepard sat out. And the Eagles were lambasted 38-10. Hooray for the Bengals. 2 straight years, 500 at least for Marvin Lewis. And something that we should point out, you pointed out earlier this morning on Countdown, we'll reiterate, only 2 teams have made the Super Bowl, losing their last 2 regular season games. The 67 Packers, the Lombardi's Packers, who won it. 72 Skins did not. Odd predicament for Philadelphia.
That's correct.
And they still have home field no matter what. Should they be concerned going into the playoffs?
I think they have to be concerned, but I certainly understand that predicament that you're talking about for head coach Andy Reid. You lose T.O. You cannot afford to lose Brian Westbrook. You can't afford to lose Donovan McNabb. You can't afford to lose any of the other major players on your offense or defense, so you have to suffer through these 2 games. But I think in terms of the psyche and the mentality of the Philadelphia Eagles, we're not going to know where they are until a couple of weeks down the road. We've seen them now against the Dallas Cowboys in that fourth quarter without T.O.
The whole second half.
Yes, against the Rams and now against the Bengals. And they don't look like a team ready to play, but we're not looking at the guys who are going to be doing the damage.
Only a touchdown in each of those instances in those games, and McNabb led them to 2 of the 3. They knew this was coming. They would hope to get out of it with a win, but you're right.
Can't worry about it.
They will have 2 weeks. They will be ready, but they're going
We'll find out. We'll all find out together.
Philadelphia is still the top seed, but not ending the regular season. 13-1, ends up at 13-3. Brett Favre, would he play against the Bears? Actually, the Bears had a chance to sweep the Pack for the first time since '91, but Brett and the Pack had other ideas. Now, Jets, Rams, affecting playoffs in both conferences. It was so big, they won a 5th quarter.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Sunday Night Football on ESPN. The Dallas Cowboys, Bill Parcells, who used to patrol the Meadowlands for 2 teams, at the New York Football Giants. Could Eli Manning end a disappointing rookie season with a win? With highlights, Stuart Scott.
Speaking of Cowboys, Cowboys and Giants segue in ridiculous HD. Second quarter, though, check out Keyshawn Johnson. Watch his ankle get trapped under his body in that turf. Broken ankle for Keyshawn. Fourth quarter, 16-14 Cowboys. Giants inside the 5. Eli, sidearm, dumps it to Tiki Barber. Eli, 18 of 27, 144 yards, 3 touchdowns, including the first touchdown pass this year to a Giant wideout. Under 2 to go, 4th and goal, Cowboys. Julius Jones flowing. He had a $149, 803 yards rushing the last 7 games for Julius, but Tiki puts it away. Giants win it 28-24. Tiki Barber now the Giants' all-time leading rusher.
Yo, don't miss a special playoff edition of NFL Primetime next Saturday. I get to sit in the chair for Boom, ESPN, midnight Eastern, me and TJ. Now let's send it back to Boom and TJ, guys.
Pack Packers and the Bears. Way back in September, the Pack lost to the Bears. And yes, as in Philly and around the league, number 92 will the decal on the Packers helmet as well for the late, great Reggie White. Favre to Bubba Franks.
Every time we're inside the red zone, Bubba Franks.
They're just excellent at this 17 yards. So Brett played a couple series, and wouldn't you know, a couple of touchdown passes to his fine fullback, William Henderson. Nobody there. 30 TD passes again this year. Brett Favre, 14-7 the Packers. Chad Hutchinson looked good that one game, Tom, but the last month, Darren Sharper could go all the way. 21-7, back. And now, what you all were waiting for, Favre, sidelines, Craig Nall from northwestern state of Louisiana. Nall to Javon Walker, but he's hit hard. Coach's decision not return, and you can understand that. So Mike Sherman, again, one of the many coaches that had to decide, okay, who do I keep in, who do I not? There's no easy answer. There's no, quote, correct answer. But I tell you what, unlike some of the other teams resting their players, the Packers won big.
Packers won a football game.
The oldest rivalry in football, 31-14. So Green Bay finishes 10-6, and of course already champs of the Norris division. Favre 9-13 for 196, and he's won 21 of 26.
Pretty good day for Favre, huh?
Yeah, like in for a quarter. Bucks, Cardinals. We don't know yet. Emmett's going to think about it. Could this be the last game of his career? We hope not. We hope he does what he wants to do. Chris Sims starting for Tampa Bay, and one of the fine rookie receiving seasons in the history of the league turned in by this man, Michael Clayton. 75 yards. Woo. Wow. 7-6 Bucks in Arizona. Cards have kicked a field goal to go up 9-7, and Emmett, there you go. Make the first guy miss, Emmitt Smith. And that would set up Neil Rackers, who tries to rack up another field goal. Emmett, 23 for 69 today. Meanwhile, Chris Sims picked off by Adrian Wilson. And so 4 field goals. Look, wasn't pretty, but the Bucks, go out. They get carried out of this season. They just did a bad season and a bad finish for the Bucks. 5-11. Arizona showed some glimpses in year 1 under Denny Green. They're 6-10. Emmitt Smith, 937 yards this season. If you're counting at home, 18-3-55. Arizona at least a step in the right direction.
Arizona took a step in the right direction. I remember from last year, Tampa Bay saying we can't let this happen again. Exactly what has happened again.
It did. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board. The coaches said as much, John Gruden. When we return, Chad Pennington. The Jets win, and they're in St. Louis. Herm Edwards figuring, well, time to rev up the offense after last week's dud against New England and Buffalo. Playoff atmosphere there. The Bills have won 6 in a row, but oh, by the way, they're playing a team who had won 13 in a row, Pittsburgh. A playoff atmosphere in Buffalo. They hadn't circled the wagons like this or had enthusiasm throughout the city since the late 90s. Problem, even though the Bills were hoping to win their 7th in a row, A, it didn't guarantee them playoffs, and B, they're playing a team in the Pittsburgh Steelers who came to town 14-1. And obviously, their JV is still pretty darn good. You knew it would be a head knocker between the teams from Western New York and Western Pennsylvania. Drew Bledsoe trying to warm up. And I tell you who has, my goodness, now you see why Tom Donahoe gambled a year, with the draft. Willis McGahee, does he run hard or what, Tom? 3-yard touchdown, 7-3 Bills. It's a feverish pitch in Buffalo. Tommy Maddox, his first start since week 2. Antoine Randall caught 7 today. Boy, they have skilled players.
And I think we saw the playbook open up a little bit because Tommy Maddox really is able to carry the whole playbook in terms of execution of game plan.
Maddox picked off by a guy who should have been in the Pro Bowl, Nate Clements. Oh, my darling, it's Clements time. Touchdown, Buffalo. 17-16 Bills. Third quarter. Now, later in the third quarter, McGahee. Whoa, Ike Taylor, get out of here. That's an old-fashioned stiff arm. 16 yards on the play. Crowd going nuts. After Bill's penalty forces a field goal attempt, Ryan Lindell. He's had a good year, but when they need him, I don't want to say it.
Wide right.
Don't say it. Missed from 28 yards. Under 2 minutes left, third quarter. Okay, no bus. But we got a rookie running back, says Pittsburgh, Willie Parker. The big fella from North Carolina, 19 carries. He had 102 yards. Sets up a field goal by Reed, 19-17, Pittsburgh. Same score, and watch Richard Copley, number 21, Bob, boom! The corner blitz, James Hardy, Harrison, touchdown! Defense, they've got depth everywhere, and the defense makes the play. 26-17, Pittsburgh.
Watch the guys come off the edge. It's Russell Stavance and Cole Claw, and here they come. And once the ball pops out, you get the nice recovery, easy jog into the end zone. It's not the hat trick, but it's a double play. I picked it off and I took it in.
On 4th and 1, the Steelers activated their third quarterback, Brian St-Pierre. Sacre bleu. He gains 2 yards and first down. And Pittsburgh, this is what they do. They held the ball for 9 minutes, setting up a field goal, 29-17. 2 minutes to go. Bledsoe. Talk about a fine rookie receiver. How about Lee Evans? Fist in the air. 55-yard completion. Same drive, but the Bills need 2 scores. McGahee. 18 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns, 29-24. Just over a minute to go. Onside kick. But remember the guy that was stiff-armed? This time, he gets revenge. That's Ike Taylor falling on the ball. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have done it again. The Bills see their playoff chances slip away. An 0-4 start. They were trying to become only the 2nd team to make the playoffs after an 0-4 start. They remember at least what games like this were like, and maybe they can have a lot more of them next year. They finished 9-7. The Pittsburgh Steelers at 15-1, just the 4th team ever to do that, and only the 72 Miami Dolphins won 14 straight regular season games, as the Pittsburgh Steelers have done. We'll talk about more of them in a minute, because what a job they did coming to play in a, quote, game that didn't mean anything for them. Well, this game, the Jets-Rams, meant a lot to both teams. The Jets knew for the 2nd straight week, if they win, they're in. And it'll be one of the very few times, if they won, that franchise had seen a team win 11 games. It'll be only the 4th time for a franchise been around since 1960. For the Rams, you scratch your head, but here they were on the final Sunday at 7-8 with a chance at A, playoffs, B, division. Here's our prime cut. Rams do play better at home, as you know that. Chad Pennington questions what kind of offense could they run. A couple weeks ago against Seattle, the team the Rams were playing against in the NFC West, the Jets look great. But against the Patriots, nothing doing. Meanwhile, Mark Bolger. I hope the flag is the other way. It was. Touchdown to Isaac Bruce, 7-3 St. Louis. Wayne Corbett suffered a concussion, so maybe in his final game, well, we'll see. Then for the Jets, he's out. Chris Baker takes the swing pass from Pennington, 10-7, Jets. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. Rams deep. But Eric Coleman, the rookie free safety, he's going to be a good one, Tom. Picks off Bolger at the 1. Herm Edwards appreciates the effort. 3-and-out Jets. Rams first play next drive. And look at this. The bomb to Torrey Holt touchdown. Looked like he could have coverage.
Great play, but only 3-man rush, and they didn't get any pressure on Mark Bolger.
And it looks like the safety had a play, but just was late getting the hand up. 14-10 Rams at the half. Steven Jackson, the rookie running back, 20-yard touchdown. He's ahead, 21-10 of the Rams. John Abraham, again, the fine defensive end Jets had to sit it out. But the play that might have turned it around for the Jets, Jericho Cotchery in the rye could go all the way. B.J. Askew, a great block on Wilkins there. And the sideline of the Jets say, we're back in this. And indeed, they are. 21-20. Now, Bolger, pass tip Sean Ellis. Vilma! Would you go out and walk Dino? I need a Brontosaurus burger. Jonathan Vilma, rookie, touchdown, 38 yards. 26-21. They go for 2. Don't get it. Now, can the Rams come back? 5 minutes left. Bolger, Torrey Holt. This is the way it was supposed to be all year for the Rams. 27-26, St. Louis. They go for 2. Steven Jackson, left side. Bang, in. 29-26, St. Louis. Here come the Jets. 3rd and 6, 2 minutes to go. They're at the 32. Curtis, my favorite Martin, had a big day. 153 yards rushing. Past the idle Jerome Bettis and Eric Dickerson. Now he's 4th all-time on the rushing list. Pennington. Oh, Adam Archuleta could have sealed the deal. Mike Martz knows it. They know it, and with 6 seconds to go, trailing 3. Jets get second life, actually third life. There were 2 Ram plays. Doug Bryan good. We're tied at 29. and the Rams can't bear to look. They're going to overtime. 53 yards, Bryan for the win, and life of Bryan, no good. And the Rams, each team had the ball twice in the OT. Then Mark Bulger. A swing pass to Steven Jackson if I only had a first down. All the way down to the 13-yard line. Then Jeff Wilkins, 31-yard field goal. Good. It's good. It's good. And the Rams win it 32-29. And by the time this game was over, late in the fifth quarter, if you will, the Rams knew that they were in playoff business. They didn't know as the game was going on. They needed to win and hope. The Jets found out during the fifth quarter that they, either way, would be in playoff business, although when they started out, a loss could have dealt them a huge blow. So St. Louis and the Jets, playoff bound. St. Louis wins the game as Mark Bulger threw for 450 yards. And we'll get back to the Jets a little bit later as we set up the opening round, and back to the Rams a little bit later. But let's talk the AFC, the big picture. We saw New England earlier, Tom, and we just saw Pittsburgh against Buffalo in a playoff atmosphere. How about the way these two teams approached the day?
Very impressed with the two top seeds in the AFC. You know, and I think that Coach Belichick really gets the nod here when it comes to playing Tom Brady, two-time Super Bowl MVP, kept him in the game for almost 3/4 of football, as he did most of his starters. He wants them to be sharp going into the playoffs. Same thing for Coach Cowher, I think, with the exception of his quarterback and the bus, both nicked up a little bit. I've always said if you're hurt and you can't play, then don't play. But both of those teams played to win the football games. They want to go into the playoffs, and they want to go in sharp.
And not only would Pittsburgh play to win, you knew it was going to be a physical game, situation, and not a beautiful day outside. Although it wasn't freezing cold. And you don't go 15-1 by accident.
Yeah.
84 Niners, 85 Bears of Coach Ditka, 98 Vikes, who didn't get to the Super Bowl. The first two did win the Super Bowl, and now the Pittsburgh Steelers.
14 in a row.
14 in a row and a well-deserved week off. Very, very impressive. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Falcons already in his second seed, but now the Seattle Seahawks, after they kicked off, found out that the Rams had won. So the Seahawks now had to win. They're already in the playoffs to win the NFC West and get a home game. And so here we go. From Seattle, Michael Vick didn't play last week. He's going to start for the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, Shaun Alexander, rushing title up for grabs, began the day with a big lead, but they saw that Curtis Martin had a huge game, and so we're tied at 7. That's 20 touchdowns. Alexander. Vick hit fumble, and at this moment, oh my goodness, he got hit. He was ginger. Turned out to be okay, but you don't tell me everybody in Atlanta was
holding your breath.
Vick still 3rd and 10. His second quarter, he's in and makes the one play, but now all of a sudden, whoop! And his own guy, and two Seahawks. That drive, by the way, gets a field goal 10-7, and that's enough. After the field goal, Vick is done for the day. Matt Hasselbeck didn't play last week. D'Angelo Hall, #1 pick, could go all the way. So Seattle, who needs to win to get a home game, now trails 17-7. They've scored a touchdown to make it 17-14. First and goal in the third quarter. Hasselbeck, tight end Jeremy Stevens. Seahawks, come on, Seattle, let's go. They have the lead 21-17, 21-20. Shaun Alexander. Bang, this is a tough run, Tom. 11 yards, he loses his shoe on the run. Shortly after, second and goal, he needs 1 yard to tie Curtis Martin for the rushing title, but you know, they need a touchdown. Hasselbeck gets the sneak. So they go ahead 28-20, and sure enough, wouldn't get a chance again. Matt Schaub, seconds to go, stumped the Schaub. Swing to Fred McCrary, first down, 3rd and goal, last play of the game. Schaub, touchdown, Brian Finneran. Seattle can't hold him. And now it's 28-26, a 2-point conversion, and we go to overtime. Inside handoff to Warwick Dunn.
Just an odd play. But this is the area of the field where most times the Falcons depend on Mike Vick to somehow get it in.
And so the Seattle Seahawks exhale now. They win the NFC West. They finish at 9-7. They're the champs. St. Louis goes to the playoffs as a wild card team. They'll play each other. We'll set up the playoffs for you. 28-26. The Seahawks win. And that 1 yard is the difference in the rushing title. Alexander ends up with 1,696. That's ahead of Corey Dillon, 1,635, who was third. But Curtis Martin, 1,697, the oldest rushing champion, 31 years and 8 months since Marion Motley in 1950. That would be going back away. Congratulations to Seattle. They're in as the champs. And Baltimore, they were hoping for a couple losses by Denver and by Jacksonville. Meanwhile, the New Orleans Saints, no one gave them a chance against Red Hot Carolina. Could they win and could they get in?
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
How about the season turned in by the San Diego Superchargers and Marty Schottenheimer? First draft pick last year, won 4 games. They're trying to win their 12th. Playing red-hot Kansas City. Drew Brees, LaDainian Tomlinson sitting. But Doug Flutie, 42 years young, all-reliable, still very good. You can see him Osgood. And then Flutie takes it himself. How about the Chargers leading 10-3? Still second quarter. Flutie to Ryan Krause. Krause, who had another catch where he carried the whole Chiefs on his back. Doug Flutie. You know what? They're in pretty good hands if something happens to Brees. Meanwhile, Phillip Rivers starts his second half, and, you know, it's his first real action, except for a couple of handoffs. It's a fumble. Rivers to Malcolm Floyd. Hey! Rivers throws a touchdown. 24-3 Chargers. Chiefs, we know, can come back. Trent Green, Tony Gonzalez, 97th catch. That's a new tight end record, breaking the old mark set by Ben Winter-Coates 10 years ago with the Patriots. Gonzalez ends up with 102. But Doug Flutie throwing for 199, rushing for 25. Tom, the Chargers are 12-4 and proud champs of the
Fantastic season for Marty Schottenheimer.
And now we go to the playoff questions unanswered in the AFC, and we'll kind of go in order of who needs the most help. The Baltimore Ravens had a tough December, and so they needed what we call a swarm-like series of events. But first things first, could the Ravens win at home against the suddenly pretty good Miami Dolphins, who won 4 games all year, but 2 of them last week? Ray Lewis sitting, broken right wrist. Sage Rosenfels. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and what a time on your first pass of the day in your first start to Chris Chambers. Are you kidding me? 76 yards. The Dolphins lead 7-0. Jarrett Johnson, though, intercepts the pass by Rosenfels. Ravens lead 17-7. Another field goal. Ravens lead 20-7. Jamal Lewis. It's going to be 1,000. It's hard to get to it for him, but he had a 1,000-yard season, 167 today, 27-7, the Ravens. One of our favorite stories this year is young Wes Welker for Miami. Look at him make the move, and he could go all the way. Look at him outrun the 4 Ravens. Remember, he was the young man against New England that kicked an extra point, kicked the field goal, returned punts, returned the kickoffs. Meanwhile, fumble, Jamal Lewis in the end zone. Ooh, Miami with the safety, and all of a sudden, they're within a touchdown, 30-23. And Terrell Suggs gets by 2 to... Oh, he can play now. It's not like Ray Lewis, the only defensive player on that team. And so a higher-scoring game, you might have seen Miami played well for Bates. You got to give him credit. And they'll have a new coach in Nick Saban. Bates certainly helped his resume, but the Baltimore Ravens finished 9-7. They want help, and they won by the count of 30-23. Now, the Jags and the Raiders. So, Baltimore had to hope that one of the teams losing later on would be Jacksonville. They're at the Raiders. Jacksonville had matters in their own hands a week ago, but they fell to Houston. Now they're going to beat the Raiders, and they need help. Ernest Wilford. Remember, he caught the last-second pass in Buffalo week 1, and that's a big catch from Byron Leftwich. Greg Jones, touchdown. 13-6 in the third quarter. Jags lead their 8-8. Then, 3rd and goal, Raiders under 5 minutes to go. Zach Crockett, he's tough inside the 5, Tom. Flag on the play. Leg whip penalty, Raiders.
We saw a couple of those today. A couple of leg whips.
Pittsburgh had a trip,
That's
right?
correct.
2 minutes for tripping. Kerry Collins to Donovan Darius, but the problem is wrong team. Picked off by Jacksonville. Then, Collins with his team down by 7. Incomplete pass interference called on Dwayne Washington. So here are the Raiders. Zach Crockett No, couple of yards. Kerry Collins, second down. Play action. Good pursuit, Jacksonville. Tipped away. 3rd and goal. Zach, king of the wild frontier. Crockett, no gain. And 4th and goal. Fumble. Kerry Collins fumbled. And the Jags. Hey, now that essentially, that would knock Baltimore out if you're following me. The Jags need help, but they win it by the count of 13-6. And so it wasn't pretty. But Jacksonville, you know what? All in all, they got to be pretty pleased with their season.
Absolutely. 9-7. They, played great for Jack Del Rio all year. Took some strides forward. Tough conference to get in.
And so the Jaguars now would hope that Peyton Manning would play some for Tony Dungy, and the Denver Broncos would fall at home. Peyton Manning began the game with a short pass to Marvin Harrison. Peyton, 1 of 2, 6 yards, only played 1 drive. Reason? Rookie Jim Sorgi, just in case. Tony wanted him to play with the first team line, with the first team everybody else. Here's Sorgi to Harrison for a first down. Sorgi to Harrison. Anybody can do it, see? 50, a touchdown pass by the Colts. Peyton had the first 49. Sorgi, 7 of 7 on the drive. Jake Plummer, bootleg to Ashley Lilly. Oh, that's pretty. And look at Lilly in the end zone. They're tied at 7. He's doing, played ball at Hawaii. He knows how to swim. Crazy play later in the first. Sorgi to Dallas Clark. Boom, nailed by John Lynch. Reggie Wayne picks it up. Wayne, fumble. Kelly Herndon picks it up. Flag down, but the play continues. Look at the return by Herndon. Whoop! And then, whoop! And it gets a block, and then he could go all the way. Tony Dungy challenged it. He usually doesn't win them.
Yeah, but when we saw this initially, you saw Clark bobbling the ball a little bit. He was hit by Lynch. When he hit the ground, was not able to make a football move. It was called dead on that spot. Tony won a challenge.
And then Lynch, such a tough player, may be hearing from the league later. But at any rate, Dungy won the challenge. Meanwhile, Plummer to Patrick Hape. It's a touchdown. The Broncos lead 17-7. Sorgi, Reggie Wayne, stately Wayne Manor out of the Batcave. Touchdown, 17-14. So, see, Sorgi has 2. And it's 17-14. Kennedy beaten there, but Jake Plummer, this is what he could do. And this is why Mike Shanahan says, hey, he can do these things. That's a great play. Plummer dives, pylon, touchdown, 27-14. And you know what? You know what those guys are saying? Mike, Tony, good to see you. We'll see you next week. Like last year when they played late in the season, but not the last game of the season. They're going to play next week at Indianapolis. The Broncos with the win. Congratulations to Mike Shanahan and company. They make the playoffs at 10-6. So that closes the door. AFC playoffs, take out your pen. Saturday on ABC, it'll be the late game for ABC. Jets at San Diego. They played them week 2. Chargers weren't them yet. The Jets won the game. Denver at Indianapolis. Now, last year in this very spot, the Colts smoked them.
That's right.
And so we'll see if things have changed this year. So that is the AFC plan. And, of course, New England is 2 and Pittsburgh is 1, and they get the bye. So pretty loaded bracket as we've known for a while.
We're looking at 6 teams, all with double-digit wins, and 4 of those teams with 12 wins or more. So I'm looking forward to the AFC playoffs. I think it's going to be great. A lot of familiarity when it comes to these teams playing, especially, teams like the Broncos going back to play the Colts. You almost feel like they're division opponents because they see each other so often. It's going to be very interesting. And the number 1 and 2 seeds, probably the best 2 teams in football.
Yep, absolutely. And the Jets get their second life. They lose, but they won 10 games. They won 10 games. But San Diego, don't overlook them.
No. Good defense.
They've opened up
good defense as well.
Arrested a lot of guys and played very good defense against the Chiefs today. AFC playoffs loaded. When we come back, we'll give you the NFC situation. And I don't want to use the term humorous, but maybe I should. The NFC playoff situation. The Vikings trying to get in. Carolina and the Saints still home against Brooks in kind of a elimination game. Who would know that both would be in that mode?
The numbers brought to you by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. get ready for the game.
And now we go to the NFC playoff openings, and one involved the Minnesota Vikings, who at 8-7 knew that if they won, they would be in. But they went through this last year at Arizona. They seem to go through this all the time. And they're at Washington, a team long eliminated, but with a tough defense. So here we go to FedEx Field, where you positively, absolutely have to get there overnight. And that was the Vikings. But right away, talk about overnight. How about the first play of the game? Antonio Brown, kick return. These are the Vikings in a key game, giving up a big 66-yard return.
It set the tone for the rest of the football game.
Patrick Ramsey to Chris Cooley. Cooley quietly's had a nice second half of the season. 7-0 Redskins. Early second quarter, Michael Bennett, 2 yards. Second and goal, Dante Culpepper. And with the pressure by Ronaldo Wynn and Cornelius Griffin, incomplete, but roughing the passer called.
Roughing the passer, it's a touchy call. Let the quarterback play football.
And so first and goal for the Vikes. Mo Williams down to the 2. Second and goal. Mo, why you on it? Down to the 1. Third and goal. Meanwhile, incomplete. Culpepper. Guess what? A field goal. All those plays, and they get a field goal. Now in the third, Culpepper to Randy Moss. And he can make these catches now.
Yeah, take another look at it. Look at him get position. He has maybe the best set of hands in the history of this game, except for the guy he played with, Chris Carter.
14-10. Culpepper scrambles to Randy Moss. Now look at this. This is his own tip drill. Boop! And then boop! Makes the catch, and he's gone. Then a move too, but these are the Vikings. Crunch time, holding. Play called back Adam Goldberg.
Watch Adam Goldberg. We have him spot shadowed right there. You're going to get that call almost every time, even though you put the arms out like you didn't do anything at the end.
Later in the fourth quarter, it's Ramsey to Taylor Jacobs. And he'll take it down to the 1, setting up a touchdown, 21-10. And so the Vikes need 2 scores very late. Culpepper to Nate Burleson. Closing seconds. Culpepper. They're down 11 still. You talk about a miracle. What do you do if you're Washington?
Knock it down!
But Marcus Cuckoo Robinson catches it. They make a 2-point conversion, 21-18. Now look, Randy Moss is walking off the field. I know the odds are slim, if at all. So you got to get the onside kick, start lateraling it, kick a field goal. But Moss is gone. The Vikings, at this moment, are gone. Mike Tice sees the mark fall to 8-8. And the Redskins, trying to be that #1 defense overall in football, beat the Vikings 21-18. Betts had 118 yards. Oh, by the way, the 2 touchdown passes, Culpepper, give him 39, 5th best single-season total of all time. And so the Vikings at this moment out. But there are other ways for them to get in. Saints and Panthers both at 7-8. Now, Muhsin Muhammad, second half of the year, has been unbelievable. Made a great catch in the first quarter. Look at this in the third. Wow! Wow! And that pulls Carolina, who's down at home 14-3, to within 14-10 of the suddenly just as hot New Orleans Saints. Later third quarter, Aaron Brooks said, hey, I'm a great quarterback with an inconsistent team. To Joe, don't bother me right now. I'm on the horn. 44-yard touchdown. He was comparing himself to Jake Delhomme, but you know what? He backed it up on this day.
Yeah, absolutely.
He grilled him this morning, Tom, but he backed it up today. Meanwhile, Will Smith, men in black, forces Delhomme to fumble it there, and Aaron recovers. Saints put pressure today.
That pressure came from a four-man front.
But here are the Saints. They're up at 7.5 minutes to go, 21-10, and normally reliable John Carney misses for Jim Haslett. Then, Delhomme to Muhsin Muhammad. Here we go. 9-yard touchdown, 21-16. They go for 2. Delhomme, daylight come, you got it, Delhomme. To Mike Aluminum Seidman, touchdown. 2-point conversion, 21-18. Saints trying to ice it. Brooks to Ernie Conwell, short of a first down. He goes out of bounds, stops the clock. The foot goes out. Oh, no, they're trying to run it out.
Yep.
So the Saints punt. Mitch Berger hams it. And it's a big play at this stage of the game with a minute to go, down to the 2-yard line. So the Panthers, they just need a field goal, but they got a long way to go. So, no timeouts. Delhomme to Chris Mangum, to pitch to Nick Goings, the hook and lateral. 20 yards. Nice play. Now at their own 22, Delone. Daylight coming. You're going to have Muhammad, the mountain, 16 yards to the 42.
And you're seeing a continual play here. They didn't spike the ball. They ran another play, bro.
Tick, 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 tick. Yes, they're in Saints territory, but tick, 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 tick. And then even a long incompletion. And so you got only one shot. It's a 60-yard field goal. John Casey at the foot. Forget it. Block. I mean, you got to kick it so low. Tony Bryant block. Jim Haslett's Saints. Jim Haslett's Saints went into Carolina, a team they'd lost to 4 in a row, a team that dusted them in their park a month ago, and they go in and win a huge game. The New Orleans Saints, Tom, they win it by the count of 21-18. And so, the problem is, once the Rams won, Saints, it didn't work for them.
Great effort.
Had the Rams lost, they would have been in.
Great effort from Jim Haslett and the Saints, though.
And a nice run, but albeit too big a hole for Carolina. And so, the Rams and Vikings make the playoffs. Rams, Vikes get in. They're 8-8. We showed you this on the Schwam a couple weeks ago. They are now the 6th and 7th 8-8 teams to make the playoffs. The first 5, including a division winner for Marty Schottenheimer, the 85 Browns, all lost their playoff games, so they would be the first that they did. Here are the NFC wild card now, okay? St. Louis at Seattle. St. Louis obviously swept Seattle this year. That's the ABC Saturday early game. Pre-game at 4 o'clock. The game is at 4:30. Minnesota at Green Bay. Green Bay beat him twice this year, 34-31, the second just last week on Christmas Eve. So that's the Sunday game. And obviously Philly and Atlanta have had 1-2 for a while. So both of these rematches. The good news for the teams involved was you're not going to have to look very deep to say, okay, how do we prepare for these teams? Hard to tell what you're going to see. I will tell you. Go ahead, Tom. Analyze.
Well, I was just going to say it's very difficult to beat a team, whether you're trying to do that 3 times during the course of a season. Seattle losing to the Rams. Now you get to play them again at home. We remember what they were doing to them at home, minus the last 4 minutes of the football game. Seattle could have had an entirely different season. I know you can't go back to it, but you can call on what you did well up to that point.
You know what's interesting? 15 times teams have swept in the regular season. They've met again in the playoffs. 10 of those 15, you can beat a team 3 times.
So that's canceled what I said.
No, I mean, you would think 10 of the 15, it's 3 for 3. We're just giving you the facts. We'll give you the predictions a little bit later. When we return, prime time performers and a final word on the final Sunday.
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting, low-carb Miller Lite. Primetime Performers, brought to you by Energizer. Keep going.
When were my game ball going to go to Aaron Brooks, a guy that we didn't think could get the job done, said a few things in the paper this week that got him in trouble, came out, backed up every word that he said. The 14 completions, 216 yards, didn't make the mistakes that we've seen, and you see how talented that team is when they are playing well.
Albeit they end up on the outside looking in. But you know who's on the inside looking in? Bill Cowher, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in a game they, quote, didn't need, played just as hard, knocked Buffalo out, 14 straight wins, 15-1. Hello, the Steelers. Home field, they get Mike Gameball. By the way, if you're wondering which conference is better, this just in. The AFC is 44-20 overall.
There you are.
The AFC playoffs will be great. The NFC will be interesting.
Yeah. Well, we never know what's going to happen. Just never know.
Happy New Year, bud.
Happy New Year, bud.
For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching Primetime.